Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving. Holding on to words that you said back in the beginning. All along, they stay in my head. I'm feeling you shifting. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave.
Blue Otter Diamond League. What is going on, everyone? It is your boy Huey. With me on the mic is my guy Isaac, and we are finally here. We were here for Civil War semifinals, but now we are here for the end game. Akuma Strikers, and the big surprise here on my part, Dorado Gaming Delta taking out Diamond Finals. And I am, for one, definitely excited to bring this best of 5 with you. Isaac, how do you feel about these two ending up in finals?
I think these are two very deserved teams, and two teams that at the start of the season were definitely some of the favorites. Maybe not like the premier favorites, but definitely ones that you would have on your list as potential finalists. And I think understandably they have reached this point. Dorado Gaming Delta, went the distance just 2 days ago up against Synthetic Insanity, and even though the ending was had come down to unfortunate circumstances with internet connections, The series itself was so close. I think they very easily could have won it anyway. And or maybe not very easily, but there was a very distinct possibility.
It was there. And it was definitely there.
And they're definitely well within a good shout of winning here tonight. But on the side of Akuma Strikers, they've also got such an incredible lineup that has had some shaky moments throughout the whole year, notably throughout all of regular season, even though they finished 5-1 and second in their group, ahead of Dorado Gaming Delta. Only won their series 2-1 every single time, and even in the first quarterfinal, I say first as if there was more than just one quarterfinal against Only Frogs, was down to the wire and an absolute nail biter, similar to how Dorado Gaming Delta performed against Synthetic Insanity. So, I mean, these two teams are no strangers to not animosity. What is to difficulty? To I can't exactly. The words are failing to come to me. To there's this one specific word that I can't. Anyway, point is, they are very familiar with the pressure. They are very familiar with these sorts of situations. Talk about familiarity with the situation. Dr. Pepper, or Coffee as he's probably more known as, the support for Akuma Strikers. This is his third final in 4 seasons of Blue Water League. He won 2 of them, as the previous 2 as well, so certainly no strangers to a winning sort of formula here. But we go through the bans. Mel, Lilia, and Kindred going to be banned away by Akuma Strikers. Misfortune, Azir, and Gwyn not going to be on the board, taken away by Dorado Gaming Delta, and immediately going to be picking up the Wukong on the side of Strikers, picking the blue side as they were the higher seed throughout this season. And it's a very common first pick, Huey.
I know, I would have to agree with it. Looking at the bans too, those were some of the, if not top 5, 6 most banned characters right now in Blue Water League, and it shows. These characters are extremely tough to deal with. A lot of focus coming from Strikers more into the jungle, just getting rid of Mel because Mel's such a flex pick, and Wukong is such a strong pick. I feel that is a pretty dominant first pick right there, and it kind of forces Dorado to kind of play on the back foot here, and I think they're going to decide to take out and just pick their bot lane there. A little open with the Wukong there. I would have saw the jungle pick there, but I mean, to each their own, as we see the Orianna getting picked up right now by the Strikers. So you kind of see where the team comp is starting to kind of form already.
No, Ezreal Karma is one of those lanes that's very safe and can actually secure a decent amount of push early on when you pair that Ezreal with the Karma, and can help facilitate your jungler. And Phoenix Flare has been one of the best junglers in the league in fairness to them, so if you want to play around them, and I mean, Akuma Striker is clearly showing the respect that they want to by taking away 2 of their most favored champions, especially ones that you don't see all that often picked these days, so it's trying to force them onto a bit more familiar sort of champions and kind of get rid of that surprise factor that Phoenix Flare might bring. And so getting this bot lane, it's safe, it's effective, it's a bit milquetoast, but if it works, it works. Right? It's like in the finals, it's like, you know, that's finals game 1, why go with something crazy if you could just go with maybe not the bog standard, but definitely one that is used quite often. They're going to pair it up with the Volibear, though, is a little bit more spicy.
I think the Volibear it's a little more spicy, but it's still kind of in that safe zone. Volibear, you know exactly what he needs to do in the job. Once you get into a team fight, you know exactly what he's going to be doing for you and the rest of the team. So I feel both right now are in a very comfortable spot. No one really has a lead necessarily, or has a difficult lineup right now, or a matchup per se, going against each other right now. As we do check the last band, or the couple last bands here, Darius and Zach going to be taken off, so now taking a little more focus on it to the top side as well too, since again we haven't seen that top lane pick, and I feel top is really going to be making a bit of a difference here with these players.
Oh yeah, Firefly and Z333, they both have their moments of explosiveness where where they can single-handedly take over a game. So there's definitely, you can't rule them out either, taking away a few common top players. Actually, in terms of the Darius. But on the side of Dorado Gaming Delta, taking out a few that you might not associate with the support role, but our champions that Dr. Pepper has been very comfortable at picking up in the support role. To, if we're being honest with the Zach, varying levels of success. It's not been the most no, we're just being completely honest here, right? Like it's worked in the past, but it's also failed spectacularly as well. It's it is also one of those picks that if you want to take it off the board that you just don't want to deal with, you don't want it to throw in to have any surprises thrown you right on the side of Dorado Gaming Delta. You just take it off the board and say we don't want to deal with that. And pairing up the Rel actually is
that's what I
that is it's a bit odd. I think I kind of like with Ezreal specifically prefer Karma as the support, and you don't really throw Rel anywhere else. But I mean, I guess there is the rotation option of now putting Karma most likely mid lane. It's certainly a choice from Dorado Gaming Delta, and I feel like maybe a few times they do sometimes kind of overcook their drafts a little bit early on. I think maybe they have slightly gone into that realm, but following it up with the Alistar pick is it is a classic Rel counter as well, and on side of Akuma Strikers already, they've got a very strong dive team fight comp. You go in and pair it up with the Ornn. There's a lot of ability to set up this Kai'Sa. There's a lot of ability to set up shockwaves for the Orianna as well. It's not the most overcooked draft ever. It's one that you serve up in terms of like the fast food drafts that you order at the chain Champion Select restaurant. But again, it's a delicious meal that, it works when you need it. Game one, you pull out a few of the comfort picks, and they've got themselves a cohesive composition. Meanwhile, on the side of Dorado Gaming Delta, going to lock in the set. Probably going to be, I see the angle as a counter pick to the Ornn. It's one that has seen some level of play. One that, especially with the grit passive, with the Haymaker, certainly can do a ton of damage, as well as a showstopper with a big target like the Ornn. If they go in, you take them, you throw them right back into the Orianna more likely than anything, because Kai'Sa does have the mobility, and then you just delete their team. So there's certainly that angle, and I don't dislike it. But what I'm a little bit confused by is by this Karma into the mid lane is a little bit.
That's the only thing that's bothering you, right?
Yeah, that's like the one thing that I look at Dorado Gaming's draft and I go, I don't know.
I kind of feel with you for that. They have a beautiful front line with Oliver, Sen, and Rel later in game. So when they get into these 5v5 skirmishes, what Strikers is looking for, they're looking for that wombo combo, smack you in the face, and you're just CC'd for life pretty much, while we just do all the types of damage, which they have that right there. But I feel Dorado almost has the counter, but I feel like they're lacking a little bit of damage, which then in turns comes back to that Karma. Which, like, honestly, if that is going mid, that could have been just about anybody else, and I feel a lot more comfortable with the draft.
Yeah, because Ornn's going to be pretty hard to kill over a long period of time, and it's not like Kai'Sa runs out of damage. Obviously, there's a really big initial burst from the Strikers, the team comp, that as soon as they, use that big, they use all their ultimates, they do run out of, I guess, damage economy, or like utility fight economy, I suppose.
But
I don't know. That's a term I literally just came up in my head to try to describe what's going on the moment. But
honestly, if you get hit by that initial burst, Ornn ult, Orianna with the Cyclone, with the knockup, with Kai'Sa repositioning, with Orianna, I said already Orianna, but she's there twice. But with that burst,
two shockwaves,
with that CC, literally, it's gonna feel like that. You're gonna be sitting that long in the CC and the burst. It might cause a lot of disruption and desynchronization that Dorado's really gonna need to kind of keep themselves. Because what they're looking for these poke, not full engage, but we're gonna keep dancing with you, and we're just gonna try to whittle you out. And they do have some decent targets to aim that poke at, but one misstep, one wrong, not warded push near an objective, and it could be the entire fight right there before it even started.
In fairness, I think to Dorado Gaming as well is that they can have a pretty good chance at surviving that initial burst that the strikers do with the Ezreal and the Karma. But the main thing that I wanted to point out, that I did kind of get to, was the Kai'Sa and how she could continue keep things up throughout a fight and to try to push things over the line, even if that initial burst doesn't go through. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, because we have to wait for these two teams load onto the Rift and see how things play out, because we've have had plenty of surprises coming up until this point of the season, and we'll figure out in just a few short moments. So we'll see you on the Rift.
A broken neighbor is your mind. All the scars, let's leave them behind. We light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes. To the darkness, into the night. A broken neighbor is your mind. All the scars, let's leave them behind. We light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes. To the darkness, into the night. Get your fucking hands up.
Well, we are finally here. Game 1 on the way. Strikers will be taking blue side for game 1. Dorado on red. We have already went through the team composition. Now it's going to be up to these players to lock in and show off who is actually number 1 in Blue Otter Diamond. It is your boy Huey. With me is my guy Isaac on the mic. And you know what? I forgot to ask. Who do you think is going to be taking this game 1?
This game 1. I think probably
Yeah.
strikers.
Okay.
I think a lot of the decision making. Before we get to that, though, Dorado Gaming trying to find a few stragglers in the top lane. Not going to really find anybody. But I think the main deciding factor of that. Actually, before we get to that, I think I'm going to hand it over to you because Dorado's looking for some blood.
Ooh, the 5-man rotation headed onto the enemy blue side right now. I want to see some vision being dropped. I love this formation. I am always down to clown with the 5-man roam level 1. Doesn't seem they're going to get too much there. Fireflans is just going to have to respect it. Step back towards the mid lane there. As now we see Phoenix Flare and Nezumi headed back over to the red side. I wanted to see some action, but I think they played that as best as possible. It's a little unfortunate there, though, because now they're going to have a lot of information on Stixie there. They're definitely going to know where and when he clears that blue side. And
Take a look at Z333, though.
Oh? Are they getting into a little scrap there?
Looks like it.
we're
I mean,
gonna-
Fireflies and
little-
Z333, they found each
just
other.
a gentleman exchange, you know, just a respect, you know, a little love tap for each other there. But as you were saying, you said as we get just a couple more exchanges there, I like that pressure there, just setting up the lane already. As you check over to the bot lane there too, Core gonna just whiff that just a little bit, and yeah, Z just really just kind of pressuring that top side there, really bullying Ornn and trying to hold him back as much as possible away from
Yeah,
the lane.
I mean that's what Z333 has to do at this level 1 and throughout the early game. But level 2 hit by Dr. Pepper.
Nice.
He'll get
Big
it.
damage
Yep,
there.
he'll get a few flashes this down. No, sorry, communication. Hold
Totally
on,
fine.
Fireflies is
Totally fine.
all over the map. But going back to Z333. I mean, this is exactly what you have to do into this Ornn match. It's the reason why you pick the set into the Ornn is to be able to dominate, to ensure that Fireflies never even comes into this game. We're seeing it already. Fireflies holding on to his flash.
You know his finger was hovering over the trigger there. Like, you felt it. And it's just, it comes to show knowing, knowing your limits there. But unfortunately, that limit was tested. First blood will be falling over to Z33. Gonna start stepping this game up, gonna start moving this game forward in a good step for the top lane.
Yeah, he uses his flash to be able to secure that solo kill. And Fireflies holding on to his. Going to have to assume it was probably a flash forward and a singular auto attack considering the health bars, but Hex flash forward.
We take
Quite
those.
going to.
We 100% take those. Big
Yeah,
trade there over onto the bot side, but not going to be much to write home there. Nezumi going to try to match back there. The tether going to land on that route. Going to drop the Q as well too, but got to be careful. Mouse sticks is in the curtains there as we head over to the replay real quick for the top side.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't
what really
quite able
happened.
to see what went down. This is a little bit far back for the replay on the kill. At least I'm going to have to assume so. Or the recall came through? Wait, no, he already had the kill in this replay.
Oh. That's all right.
It was,
Still working with it.
Is what it is. Didn't quite get all the way back to when the kill went through. So still going to have to just speculate really on what exactly happened in that exchange. What we won't have to speculate about is Phoenix Flare arriving in the top lane.
Getting that tackle, dropping down the thunder. It's a brotherly fight right now. Fireflame's gonna have to use that flash, but it's gonna be too little, too late. As Phoenix Flare is gonna follow up right after that. And yeah, they are really shutting down Flans in the top lane right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the targeting that you would really hope that Dorado Gaming Delta would put onto this relatively weak early game of Fireflies, especially without the teleport now and without Flash. He's in a really rough spot where he's extremely vulnerable, but someone else might be. Dr. Pepper going forward on a Hex Flash.
Gonna try to get the stun proc there, but not going to be enough there. Flash is going to be Flash is going to be followed after, but not going to be able to really secure Dr. Pepper, but at least going to kind of reset that wave and start applying a little more pressure coming from this bot lane or from the side of Dorado, which, I mean, honestly, as if Clay just had a little more mana, I'd feel a little more comfortable where they are right now.
Yeah, he's not quite fully up and ready to go, but Che, going relatively even at this point in time. Been doing quite all right in the bot lane. No real big discrepancies there that warrant any big amount of worry, especially as they've managed to be able to push the wave not fully back out, but at least get themselves some breathing room, especially as Drake has spawned on the map and Phoenix Flare is on the opposite side, so there doesn't mean that it could be given over quite so freely. But as you mentioned, the recall
nice
eventually going to have to come through. Yeah, it's so you kind of hate to see that as Dr. Pepper. You swear that headbutt went through to cancel the recall, but importantly, Che not coming back with the with the Sheen. I'm going to be having the Cole and the Tier, so not quite hitting that relatively big power spike that Ezreal gets early on. As you mentioned, that freeze going to allow X-Fluke to start to get a bit of an advantage for himself. Going to be coming back with a Hearthbound Axe. Not the biggest first buy ever. I mean, considering that the Kraken Slave doesn't exactly have the best components in the world.
Oh yeah,
but it still
honestly
still feels quite all right in comparison. I would say
it's not bad. It's not the end. I would have preferred to maybe see the Sheen in Shay's pocket. I understand the Cole Tier scaling.
Airplane's in trouble though.
Check over onto the top side. That's going to be a double ult into the Haymaker. So long, good night. Fireflan's having a difficult time in that top lane right now.
Yeah, as soon as Phoenix Flare brings the storm, there's no more help from the tower to be able to get any damage down, and I mean he's going to lose another wave on top of that. It's not really much that Fireflans can really even do in that situation as well, so it's like it's tough. Because it's not really like, oh, the players just like had
play safe, bro. Like
just play safe, right? Easy. The tower is just going to disappear on you, and you're going to lose a bunch of waves anyways. But yeah, I mean, it's exactly what Dorado Gaming Delta needs to do: prevent Fireflans from becoming nigh on unkillable, prevent him from upgrading the items as well on his team, delays that around. And if this Ornn doesn't become unkillable, I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the lack of damage that the Dorado Gaming Delta team does have, but that was under the assumption that Fireflans eventually reaches that point where he gets all these resistances, where he gets, all the armor and all these bonus items. But if he can't get to that point, then, well, it's up in the air. Yeah.
Honestly, I think this plan of attack from Dorado is perfect. You shut down that late game scaling before it even starts. Void Grubs are going to be spawning right now. Malstixi was able to kind of steal the dragon from underneath Dorado's noses. So let's see how this Void Grubs start to go down. And I don't know, man. I think this might just have to be a give, unfortunately, as we see the 4-man rotation on over. First Void will be secured there as we do go in. Drexy going to get the whirlwind going, but that CC is not enough. But there goes the Orianna. Big shot for the 3-man. AKM with the killer instinct. Gonna find 2 right now. The shutdown looking perfect. And now they are flipping this entire match on its head as they find 3, possibly 4 for free. That wombo combo was way too true right there.
Yeah, the shockwave from Cool Kitten finds its way onto 3 members of Dorado Gaming Delta. Nezumi, the only one to get out alive. And even though we could talk about the shockwave from Cool Kitten, as awesome as it was, a lot of this comes from Akuma Strikers knowing that Fireflans doesn't really have a way to affect this fight. He wasn't level 6 at the start of it, so throw him to the bot lane. They send X-Fluke up to the top lane, give him that extra power from the CS advantage that X-Fluke has managed to garner in the bot lane. And, it works out perfectly for them. 3 clean kills. They get all 3 grubs as well. Nope, hold on. They only got 2. My mistake. They still get the majority of objectives. It puts them 1 away from from claiming the feats of monster slaying as well, putting things up in the air for those towers. But when you get that extra damage on the turrets, it makes getting the full feats that much easier. And now Fireflan's on the sideways alone has hit that level 6. It's not the biggest ever power spike, but you get access to the Call of the Forge God. It gives you that extra CC that the Strikers team comp really likes, and they're doing really good for themselves, especially how that early game has gone.
Yeah, you gotta work with what you got, and right now they're doing pretty well with what they got. A beautiful flip in that team fight skirmish over the objective. And as of now, it pretty much tied up the ball game, gave them a slight gold lead. They were down about 2K before that fight. So overall, not bad here for the Strikers.
Yeah, not bad at all. I'd frankly say quite good, especially since Che, being completely honest, ever since we saw that one freeze of the wave a while ago, hasn't been able to really keep up his farming numbers in comparison to X-Fluke. Now X-Fluke with the Kraken Slayer completed as well. It kind of, they're feeling really good because this Ezreal is really the main source of damage that Dorado Gaming Delta has, and if they could keep him out of the game, we were talking about Fireflies being kept out of it, but if Che is unable to get his items completed, if he's unable to reach that really strong 2-item power spike with the Triforce and the Manamune, it also becomes really hard for them if they can't deal any sorts of damage, because Zumi's not going to be doing all that much. Phoenix Flare, if he somehow finds an angle, but we've got to fight.
Oh, speaking of an angle here it goes again. The 3-man yet again into the Cyclone. I just can't get over the synergy and the wombo combo. Add in that Rocket the Killer Instinct coming back. Fluke just gonna find a kill yet again. Wukong finding 2. Malstixi with the support just gonna find 3 overall, plus Dragon there. And now Striker's definitely in a decent spot there, as we do see Ornn making that call there. I think the train hit, but I think Shay will be able to escape. But unfortunately, Nezumi is not there. Beautiful flash forward from Cool Kitten, knowing the damages and their limits, going to find 4 across the map, plus the second dragon in their pocket. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the feat for Monsters as well, too.
Yeah, it will be the feats of monster slaying. It also propels the Strikers up to a 3K gold lead. They've played these fights just about perfectly. The shockwave from the grubs from Cool Kitten this time around is a bit easier to set up from Malstixi, delivering the ball right into the middle of Dorado Gaming Delta to find its way onto 3 members once again, and the follow up from X-Loop with the Killer Instinct from miles away. Set up the
bro was at base. He was so far away.
It's I mean that is the power. That is one of the powers of Kai'Sa, is the ability to arrive from 50 screens away to be able to join the fight. And I mean, we saw it there played out perfectly by the side of Akuma Strikers, really hitting hard their points of power. And they really do have that ease of execution advantage in their composition that they did draft for themselves, and they're playing it just about perfectly, and it's a bit understandable now that we've seen Che in trouble.
As we do check over to the mid side here, Phoenix Flare Phoenix Flare going to be there for their mid laner, going to be able to find the shutdown on the Cool Kitten as we do head over onto the bot lane here. Big damage on the Dr. Pepper. Core gonna barely whiff that Magnet Storm, and those rockets are gonna flare and fly. Fluke gonna find another kill underneath their belt, as here we go. Strixie gonna be on a rampage here. Phoenix Flare trying to pick up Fluke, but Fluke with the jukes, the bobs and weaves. See you later. That's gonna be another one. 2-for-1 special in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's it is not ideal for Dorado Gaming Delta. It is one way to put it extremely lightly. I mean, everything's gone perfectly the way of Akuma Strikers. Now up 3.5K gold, and it's just at this moment where with the substitute jungler stepping in for Cherry as well. I mean, it kind of explains why they may have gone for something similar, but I mean, Malstixi is definitely stepped in and, risen to the occasion, is looking like a very adequate substitute. Unfortunately, because of the timing of the league, we weren't able to have the regularly scheduled day to be able to play out our finals, and so we're missing out on the full Akuma Strikers team. But, in fairness, Mal Stixie's been really impressive so far.
Oh yeah, definitely filling the shoes right now, and those are some big shoes coming from Cherry as well too. So that's got to be a lot of pressure on their shoulders as well, and they're stepping up to it relatively well. 5-0-3, Triforce locked in already, been everywhere across the board. Voids picked up, Dragon picked up. You really can't ask for much more. And then even playing from the backside, having Fireflans having to suffer that lane phase there, and being able to stabilize, and not only stabilize, but take control of this game to full lead to the way they have. You really can't. It just goes to show how strong, and these boys definitely belong in finals.
At that point, and as we continue on, Rift Herald claimed by Akuma Strikers going to look to open up the map a little bit more. Z333 caught
Spicy
sleeping though.
Hextech Flash. He's gonna slam, Suplex slam, back, boom! Big haymaker there. I saw the vision. I liked it. It just was a little too much there, but they're still going to be able to pick it up. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Fireflans calling the train. Now in a 2v1 situation. 0-3 scratch that. 1-3. Going to be able to handle this just fine. That CC is serious. You need to respect the Orn God or you're going to feel the flames. Core should be able to get out right there. But my gosh, now we're still going to not be able to have a break there. Karma trying to break down that tether there. Phoenix Flare back into the mid lane. The Flash going to have to be popped over on the Cool Kitten. They can't fully commit to the dive, but they are going to be able to put some damage there. But top tower and bot tower is going to be gone. And there goes Fluke yet again. You see that rocket? Fluke's right behind it. Unstoppable. TP coming in from Z33. But I don't know if he's going to get it. Big haymaker. But it's not in the center. He misses Fluke. Cool Kitten. Going to be able to continue pushing forward onto it. Nezumi. Going to be able to live with their life there. Very, very close situation.
Yeah, the collapse from X-Fluke and Dr. Pepper on the flank comes through, is able to counter the gank onto Cool Kitten. And I mean, I don't. It's always, as guys, it's very. We're always very hesitant to say GG go next. But 7K at 17 minutes is definitely one where if you'd feel it was a solo queue game, there'd probably be a few surrender calls for right about now. But I mean, to be fair, Akuma Strikers certainly have.
Hey,
deservedly are out in front. Yeah, we're not going to be seeing an FF angle from Dorado Gaming Delta. And to be fair, I think it was, they had a few months. I think it was game 5 where unfortunately they didn't play out the game in full, where Synthetic Insanity looked really strong from the beginning, and they managed to bring that back to a relatively even state before the whole DC situation happened, unfortunately.
So but, now therein lies the issue. Do they have enough gas in the tank to continue pushing through game 5? This is not a best of 3. When you get to that third game, it starts to become a little difficult. The fatigue starts to set in. You start to get comfortable with your laner. Hey, look, he misses this wave, or he likes to queue here. You start to get real comfortable and start to learn people by that third, fourth game. And honestly, I wouldn't call him out just yet. But here comes the Cyclone onto the Stixie. Gonna pick up 2, add in 3. Balmy Blazer Wombo combo going off yet again. And Z gonna get displaced so that Haymaker doesn't hit just right. But Dorado will be able to find a shutdown there. Phoenix Flare on the run. It's a brother fight yet again. No. And Orn is going to be able to pick it up there. Cool Kitten gonna grab that. That's going to be for Nezumi on the run as they siege this mid tower right now.
Yeah, that's probably about the best look that Dorado Gaming Delta will get in this game. If we're being completely honest, and it to be fair to them, for a second, I almost believed that they could somehow find the fight, but but you know, it's just a little bit too much at this point in time. Dr. Pepper going for it onto J Core as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
X Fluke goes
Little
legendary,
flex.
9 kills unanswered. Again.
This is great.
Uh,
If you're a fan of the Strikers, this is everything and anything you can ask for. Even coming from a deficit, when it looked really good for Dorado, it felt very good. You can even say for yourself, you've been in those situations before. Granted, solo queue, competitive. It is day and night, but still, you've been in those situations where you have a laner 0-3, and you're like, uh-oh, this is gonna get rough. This is gonna be tough for us to flip it back because we scale. Don't worry, boys, we scale, right? That's what we all say. Fireflans played that so well. And overall, Strikers played this so well to be in such a strong position right now. 19-6, almost at that 10K mark. Almost. This is great. Especially coming in the finals, this is what you're looking for. You want to come out strong. You want to show, like, hey, we've worked this entire season, and now we're going to show off. And right now, Z33 in a bad spot. Oh, that was a nice cancel on the TP. The Haymaker is going to hit, but my gosh, Fluke's damage is insane right now. As we head over to the top side, they will find a little bit of reprieve here. Cool Kitten will get caught out by the 3-man squad. That's a full 3-man dive in between two towers. So I mean, what are you really gonna do? You get Cool Kitten, you lose Otacon.
Yeah, it's you know, you gotta respect it from Dorado Gaming Delta, because I mean, if they're going to have an avenue back to this one, it's going to be off of, you know, overloaded plays like that onto an isolated member. But the shutdown went onto J Core, and considering who was there in that dive, I mean, even if it goes on to Nezumi, I mean, maybe you want it to go into Phoenix Flare, perhaps. It's there's like no ideal member to give it over to in that situation. So even though they do get the shutdowns, you mentioned they lost Otacon off it as well.
Yeah.
And so it's one where we just, you know, all chat worth, and you're quite okay with it, if we're being completely honest. Because what really did Dorado Gaming Delta get out of that one, out of an injection of,
honestly,
well, after the objective bounty as well, maybe an injection of like 900 gold. And, you know, we're on So Point. Drake started up. We might see one last ditch effort from Dorado Gaming.
There we go. The Ornhorn, oh my gosh. Blink and you miss it. The damage is just so real. Big Cyclone gonna through. But Zeke just hitting nothing but air. That's going to be the triple kill. Put it under Mouse Stixies. That's going to be the double for Cool Kitten. That's the first ace of the night. And our guys, Akuma Striker's going to start walking this down into the Nexus. I feel they should be able to close this one out if they have the minions. Oh, it's okay. I guess Flans is going to be the minion. No worries. They might not be able to close it out, but this is definitely going to be the center inhibitor down. And now their sights are definitely looking at the rest of Dorado's base.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to back away. The respawn timers are still relatively short at this point in time, so they don't nearly have enough to end. But again, it's one where in solo queue, you definitely have just about everybody calling for an FF, and down over 10K. Yeah, down over 10K gold at 23.5 minutes. Outside of the most absurd throw I may have ever seen from the side of Akuma Strikers, this one's basically all but done and dusted. And also the Akuma Strikers team, for being completely honest, they've been around enough. They've been around the block and they've played enough competitive where I'd be very shocked to see this team in particular throw away this kind of lead.
They know better than to play with their food. I do like the non-full commit there, knowing, hey, look, we don't have enough to fully clear this out. We get in him, step back, reset. When was the last time you got some gold in your pocket? And now looking back, now you can see a lot of that gold being used there. Almost near items, or excuse me, all item sets are locked in here for everybody.
Oh!
We get the Hex Tech flash right over the corner. You guys aren't safe. Where's the vision? That's going to be a beautiful pick there. 4 strikers yet again. Phoenix Flare trying to front line, and he is just getting ripped apart right now. Dr. Pepper moving forward. The unstoppable wall here, the immovable object of Dr. Pepper right now. As we see Melstixi just kind of setting up Nizumi here, and yeah, this is going to be the last push here. Orenborn going in, get the knock-up, follow up, Killer Instinct on the base, doesn't matter. See you later, double ace, knock down the base towers, knock onto the Nexus. Akuma Strikers, 2 away. Will Dorado have an answer coming to this game 2?
Yeah, you know, honestly, you don't get any bonus points for winning as dominantly as you do. It's like, no, fair, like, okay, I got ahead of myself. Fair play to Akuma Strikers, textbook victory. They played just about everything right. I mean, even Fireflance, you know, he kept his head down and knew that it was fine in the end. The SOS team would cover him, and he would eventually become relevant. And, you know, it's like, you know, well done. Congratulations. They played as cleanly as you really could have wanted. But for Dorado Gaming Delta, hey, that's where
I mean, honestly,
you don't get any bonus points for winning super fast. They're down 1 game. They've gone to multiple game 5s already this playoff run, and they've come out the better of it. Some of those games that they have played in these sets have been stomps as well. So, you know, I'm not too concerned just yet by Dorado Gaming Delta's performance.
Right.
But
also, you got to remember, the lead was there. They had control of this game. It was one slip up at that Voids. Honestly, if you really want to be honest, that dragon, the dragon kind of slipping underneath was, it's a little iffy, but hey, the vision wasn't there. But that flip at the Voids really set the pace there for Akuma Strikers. And I think really, if Dorado, let's just say, if that fight didn't go as well as it did for Akuma Strikers, we'd be looking at something completely different. And the fact that it's really only one little stint that I can really be like, yeah, that was the main issue right there, I feel like we could definitely get to a full game 5 set here. I wouldn't count it out just yet.
We'll have to wait and see until that moment. I'm still not too concerned about Dorado Gaming's performance just yet, and I think they're definitely well within a chance to be able to take game 2 within this one. Akuma Strikers, though, also, you know, well played to them. They perfectly done, but we will have to wait and see how that plays out, because we're getting into the draft of game 2, and being completely honest, maybe Dorado Gaming could change things up away from a support Karma mid build where they don't have all that much damage. They overcook things a little bit, change things up, they can adjust. When we'll see how they do so, we'll get back to you in a few moments though.
Head down the highway side, cold wind, but it feels right with you.
Huey, you there? Oh, well, we may have lost him a little bit, but we're back, ready to go for game 2 here after a very, very short break. And what was a very dominant Akuma Strikers game 1, but coming into game 2, Dorado Gaming Delta have elected to go back onto blue side. I say back onto blue side as if they played on blue side. They move over to blue side for game 2, as is their choice. And the band's looking fairly similar, really from game 1, but coming into game 2, I think maybe I would like to see perhaps a first pick for Phoenix Flare. That or a Misfortune is one that Che popped off on in game 1 against Synthetic Insanity. So one that also the Dorado Gaming Delta team really likes to play. So I guess it shouldn't be a real too big of a surprise there. One that, even though Che is even all right with playing with Braum open and available, so that it's not too big of a concern because you pick it early. And there are definitely answers with it with range. So they don't mind that pick. And in fairness, what I've seen from Che, I don't hate it as much as I might have otherwise. But the response from Akuma Strikers going with the Talia and the Jarvan, locked in one after the other, two fairly common picks in the meta. Once again, Akuma Strikers staying very safe with their picks, and understandably so this early on. No big shake-ups from them. Also has a pretty nice layering with the CC. Can set up some pretty good seismic shoves on the Talia as well. But the Thresh going to be locked in on the side of Dorado Gaming Delta. Is technically ranged is one thing that, again, going back to what Che had said earlier about it when I asked him about a few drafts, is that you could counter it with range, but then immediately following up with the Thresh. It really feels like it could be a pretty good Braum angle for Akuma Striker with it up and available. Now I figure they'd probably opt into a jungle pick for Phoenix Flare. They're one of the strongest members on this team. Going to layer it with the Poppy, though. Could definitely be into the hands of, it's not Cherry, gosh, shoot. Wait, Hugh, you back?
It's all right. Oh yeah, I've been back. Man,
oh,
Isaac,
okay.
You're killing it, bro. You're killing it, bro.
Okay. Well,
I'm getting
thanks,
the
but
analysis down,
I was concerned at first because we went in and we were ready to go, and then you weren't there, and so I was kind of scared. But all right, we've got you back. Welcome back, Huey. All right.
I thought we had a little bit longer on the bathroom break there, but no, it's all right.
Oh,
either way,
shoot,
though.
My bad. I told Prod we were ready, and that's my
Either
mistake.
way, though, I'm still liking where strikers are going with this. I love the full 5-man wombo combo. Just lock them down, sock them down. You know, you have the Talea knockup, you have the EQ flag and drag. You get 5 stacks on that Darius, you already know what time it is. I do like, on the other hand, from Dorado, I do like the disengage that is available for them. They have the Flay to keep at bay. They have the box as well, too. Poppy can be a great front line to kind of just hold all those dashy boys away from her carry. So overall, this is still kind of looking how it was game 1. I haven't seen the karma yet. That really just kind of that wrench in the plans right now, per se.
Yeah, not to throw things too far back because, you know, what happened, but, you know, Dorado Gaming Delta picking up, making it maybe a little bit more of an expected sort of draft so far, coming through with not too big surprise picks. I think the Poppy might technically be a little bit early because the steadfast presence so far only really gets value on the Jarvan, and that's before he hits level 6. But honestly, Poppy, I think, is pretty fine enough as well with the access to the ultimate to be able to throw the members away of, like you mentioned, the Darius and the Jarvan. As soon as they go in, you Keeper's Verdict them 50 screens away, and, you know, you prevent any of that from happening,
we'll deal with
and you
them
feel
later.
pretty fine.
We'll deal with them later.
Yeah. But, yeah, the Ziggs going to come through for the side of Akuma Strikers. It's, you know, it's a very standard pick, going to be going into the bot lane, into the hands of X Flute. One that scales really well, one that can do some pretty crazy damage as time goes on, even though people think of it generally as like a poke style of pick. And it, in fairness, is the amount of, I mean, just like team fight damage that he can potentially do if you are landing your skill shots is pretty insane. Yeah, I mean, the only one concern I have right now is, actually, no, never mind. I mean, Darius does plenty of damage. I got too far ahead of myself. It might be a little bit more conditional, but the way the response for Dorado Gaming going to be that Aatrox in the top lane. But going back to the Ziggs pick, I kind of like it, especially with the Poppy, because you could just kind of stay at range and like not necessarily care all too much. You just throw down the damage, and yeah. So that as a response, I think that. Go ahead.
MF's a great target for the Super Mega Death Bomb later when she's ulting herself. Very easy to hit her. She is not moving, so very easy. And also dealing with her in the laning phase as well too. She's kind of immobile. She doesn't have a lot of mobility in said, like other ADCs. So if he gets that burst and he has the setup, he definitely can line him and knock him down.
Yeah, I do like the Veigar and Aatrox B4 B5 setup for the Misfortune as well, since not a lot of these champions have a way to be able to get out of the event horizon with Nico locked in. If you can find a very safe angle for Misfortune to set up a bullet time, you throw down the event horizon on top of Aatrox running through, landing the CC, it could definitely be very devastating on the side of Dorado Gaming Delta. But the Nico, going to be locked in for the side of Akuma Strikers, is one that has been very popular for a few months now, and well, for good reason. It's just kind of like the jack of all trades. You want a bit of poker early on, she's got it. You want some engage, boom. As soon as she gets a proto belt, she's got it. And right, you want some disengage, throw out Tangle Barbs, layer it up with the Pop Blossom as well. Technically, that works too. It's just really just a jack of all trades sort of champion, one that when it's up and available and you get that extra range, we'll lock it in. It's more than perfectly serviceable in just about every sort of situation. So yeah, and I think it's one that Dr. Pepper, if I recall, has played pretty well on it. It's been a while. I didn't think he really played it too much during playoffs, but before then, is definitely in the wheelhouse.
Hey, I trust Dr. Pepper. Whatever they pick, they got it. Like I trust.
I'm not going to lie.
I trust the chef. I trust the chef and the cook. I trust.
I don't think Strikers overcooks draft a bit too much as Dorado Gaming Delta has a few times. Notably, what comes to mind for Delta would have been Game 2 last week against Synthetic Insanity, where I saw that. What they had like. Shoot. Anyway, point is, before we stall too much, I've definitely seen a few overcooks from Akuma Strikers as well, but I don't think this is one of them here coming through. But considering how this will we expect to play out, look out for Che on the Misfortune particularly. But I mean, unless you got anything, Huey.
No, man. We're going to take a quick break. Game 2 on the way. Dorado just lagging a game behind. Let's see if they'll be able to tie this ball series up, or will Strikers find another win? Find out and stay tuned. We'll be right back, guys.
Lucid dreaming. I'm not usually the type to rush into the night. This time I can't be speeding. I'm taking it slow. Just want more. I'm taking it slow. Just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow. But I just want more. I'm taking it slow. Just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow. My knees on the floor. I'm begging for you. You took me to see Versailles in the middle of July. I'll fall into the deep end, giving into my feelings, afraid to go on this ride. I'm scared to crash inside. This time I might be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow. Just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow. My knees on the floor. I'm begging for more. It's you I I'm here only because your stare won't ever let me go. I'm here only cause I'm aware with you is better than all alone. Oh, 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 say what you're dying to say. No, 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 no. Oh, oh, tonight we're stars but we'll fade away. Go on and light me up. Oh, go on and light me up while we're golden. Come on and light me up. Oh, come on and light me up before we come down. Stars will always come down. So before we come down, down, down. Go on and light me up. Oh, go on and light me up while we're golden. Come on and light me up. Oh, come on and light me up before we come down. Before we come down, stars will always come down. So before we come down, 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 stars will always come down. Go on and light me up. Oh, go on and light me up while we're golden. Come on and light me up. Oh, come on and light me up before we come down. Go on and light me up. Oh, go on and light me up while we're golden. Come on and light me up. Oh, come on and light me up before we come down. The wolf, she cries at night. A breath had born in the black wind where the shadows lie. Deep inside despair, our hearts grow fierce, our minds aware. We carry on, oh, we carry on, carry
Blue Otter League, we are back. Game 2 on the way. Akuma Strikers on red side this time has the lead by 1. Who is going to be on top on this game 2? We're going to find out very soon with this beautiful camera work by our boy Last Revenant. It is your boy Huey on the mic. With me is Isaac. And Isaac, you said game 1 is going to fall to the Strikers, and you predicted that correctly. So again, where are we going game 2, my brother?
I think this one's a little bit more difficult to call immediately from draft. Because if we're being completely honest, game 1 Dorado Gaming definitely overcooked things. I want to say it's slightly Strikers favored. Simply because I feel like there might be a little bit of issue for Che to be able to set up for some really big bullet times with the likes of the flag and drag with a really good pop blossom angle as well. Or as soon as the bullet time is channeled, the response that the Strikers can come through with many options is quite immense. And Nezumi on the Vagar definitely can do a lot of damage, but usually it's only to a single target. So,
True.
and I don't think there's like one single target that like needs deleting on the side of Akuma Strikers, because like, look, if they lose Ziggs, they still have Talia. Also Fire Flans, especially if he pulls out another classic Darius performance, will be doing plenty of damage. And same thing you said about Kulkin or Fire Flans, if they all go down, well then congratulations, you killed Fire Flans. X-Fluke's still going to be doing millions of damage. And so that's my one concern I have. Since we talked about X-Fluke, hook to the face, but the response damage comes through from Akuma Strikers. But yeah, I think that's the main reason why I favor Akuma Strikers a little bit more. But I don't think it's nearly as bad as game 1 was.
No, I would have to agree with that. There is a lot of responses there to just kind of stop Shay's overall attack there with the ult bullet time. 100%. I would have to agree. I think Strikers can pull this out, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. We really shouldn't see anything come to fruition like for the first voids like we did. I don't see the wombo there as much. It's not saying that it's not there, because it definitely is. I just don't see it as being easily executed as it was last game. A lot of damage here from Dr. Pepper. Just going to poke Mr. Thresh on the way down the lane. Gonna reset the wave a little bit here. Fluke trying to find the crash. Nice stun. Add in the knockup barrier. Gonna have to be proc. The flay going as well. Dr. Pepper on 10. The flash forward going. Shay gonna find first blood, but it's going to be tied up 1-for-1. But that little bit extra going to be going into the pocket of Shay.
Yeah, traded back and forth. I think that does slightly favor Strikers because X-Fluke manages to stay alive. He'll be able to get a little bit more experience available to him. But also no flash, no barrier on Che, as well as a little tussle in the jungle, but nothing big. Just I don't think it was
Phoenix.
I don't think so, because Phoenix Flare was walking back with blue buff, so I do not believe that was the case. It was definitely looked very dangerous though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Full kit and getting real aggressive up there. Nice wave management from all sides of the map here. You'll love to see it in the top lane, in the bot lane as well too. Speaking of the bot lane, and again to a little skirmish there. X3 in a bad spot. Oh, that's a miscue though. The full stacks, but the W's gonna get there. Oh my gosh. The Noxian Warlord pulling through against the World Ender.
Yeah, and I don't know if there would have necessarily been enough damage for Z333 to be able to secure the kill with the extra auto attack that was canceled from the very short period of time in which Fire Flans dropped vision by going into the bush. But before we get to that, Che, his camera work made it look like it might have been a little bit more dangerous than it actually was. At the very least, for Z333, he does have teleport, Fireflans doesn't. He used his Ghost and Flash, so you should be safer for the time being, but still being solo killed, especially into Darius with how much he can run away with these games, especially Fireflans Darius in particular. It certainly does not feel great if you're Z333.
It's not the end of the world there. Gotta hold that there. Phoenix Flare going to find Cherry in a bad situation. The Flash going to have to be popped there to escape. Just trying to pick up as much as possible, and honestly, look down over onto the CS there. And Cherry's definitely been in Phoenix's.
Oh, Cherry's back in. Let's
jungle
go.
like that. Yeah. Definitely been.
All
in
right,
the
Cherry's
jungle
back.
and
Nice.
Putting in some work there. Got about a 2-camp lead there.
This is it's showing my very close attention to detail by totally recognizing that Cherry was.
Oh, you knew already.
I totally knew. Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to see Cherry. It's good to see Cherry back
Heck
though
yeah.
in the lineup. Ready to go, and finally, once again, more towards the full potential of this Akuma Strikers team, which is saying something considering how well they performed in Game 1. But I mean, at the very least, no flash on Cherry. That does limit a lot of the playmaking potential that the Jarvan can have, or maybe not a lot, but definitely a decent amount with how you could, use the flag, drag, flash interaction to be able to land some crazy knockups from distance. It also decreases the amount of range you have to be able to find engages as well, especially when Cherry hits that level 6, which should be coming up sometime soon. Not like
Might
immediately, but
first strike.
but it'll definitely come through. Speaking of the first strike, it's not going to be uncontested, I don't think.
No, they know now. 1,000 ticking down. Need to get the smite.
Ooh.
Good steal onto the tackle. Phoenix Flare gonna find it. Cherry going to get picked off as well there with the big press of the button. And Dr. Pepper following suit. The fetal warfare and the first objective going to fall to the side of Dorado Gaming.
Yeah, the fact that they get the Drake on top of the 2 kills feels really good for Dorado Gaming Delta. A really good collapse from the side of the Delta squad moving through Phoenix Flare. I was a little bit concerned early on with how late they were arriving, with how slightly disjointed it may have potentially been, but they arrive at the moment. They buy the time. It's a really good event horizon from Nezumi as well to split that fight up and turn what looked to potentially be a bit too far away from each other. Actually ended up separating the members of Akuma Strikers and puts things slightly into the favor of Dorado Gaming Delta.
No, like we mentioned a little earlier, I myself really didn't see the full 5-man wombo. Oh my gosh, XZ,
oh, never mind.
Close, but
okay.
No cigar. The pot diff. Honestly, that was insanely close. Yet again, another nail biter of a top lane manly exchange. I must have you. Full 1v1. No disruptions from the junglers there, man. Well, that's gonna be 2 kills and a 20 kill or a 20 CS lead there. Nice flash for Shay there, following up for the Dr. Pepper. The Lantern not gonna be there to fully get him out of danger, but going to force Dr. Pepper into their own jungle to try to get away from things. And I think they're going to still try to full commit there. They will hook the clone. Dr. Pepper, yep, flash R, press a button. Very, very outplayed. Much skill in that play there.
Yeah, and yet another kill for Nezumi, who will be scaling up on this Veigar. At some point, probably going to be coming back with a Rod of Ages on his next recall. It'd be a pretty early one as well. And so he'll be scaling up even more so on this Veigar. He's had a really good performance so far. But, I mean, it was also a really good hook from Jay Corcourt to find that initial engage to do that much damage down onto Dr. Pepper with the bullet time over the top. Doing a lot of work. Obviously, Che does have quite a few setup options for that really big ultimate. Getting a little preview of it, but Cherry flag dragging forward onto Phoenix Flare.
Couple seconds late there to get the blue. The timing was pretty good. Gonna get the Cataclysm in with the Weaver's Wall, but we're just gonna knock them away and keep it moving. That's problems future me is gonna have to deal with,
Yeah, but you get the flash out of Phoenix Flare, and you get him so low, no smite available for the grubs as well.
True.
You really don't care if you're the side of Akuma Strikers. You get what you came for. You're going to get the grubs on top of that. Obviously, you would like the kill. The extra gold would be nice,
Right.
but honestly, mission is a big success for them, and Fireplan's looking for more.
Ghost is going to be proc. WQ 3-4 dunk. Not going to be enough, but definitely going to force him away from the tower. The tower crashing. Here comes Cool Kitten trying to pick it up with the seismic, but unfortunately gonna just miss just a little bit there. Good movement there from Z33. But that's going to be an issue there because that CS deficit is starting to show.
Yeah, about 30 to the side of Fireplans. He's going to recall. He's going to be coming back. Che getting the kill onto X-Fluke, though. Whoa.
Nice.
Okay. 2v2 kill in the bot lane for J Core and Che onto X-Fluke and Dr. Pepper. We might be getting a replay on that. Should be really nice to see because the 2v2 kill should be coming through now. But I have to assume it was probably a really good death sentence, which is very aptly named.
Oh, yeah.
Coming through, J Core
it
steps
is.
up. Oh,
Nice
max range 2 onto X-Fluke. Bullet time does a lot of damage, and yeah.
There's
Well
no
played, J
escape
Core.
there, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the greatness of Thresh, or most hook champs anyway. You land that hook, it's a wrap, dog. Like, and hey, he did, max range onto that. Full follow-up, make it rain as well, too, to add in more to the slow on top of the box. This is definitely a stronger bot lane than we saw last game.
Oh my gosh, even completes his Bloodthirster on top of that, which really helps out a lot because, I mean, the main threat from this lane, from the Ziggs lane in general, regardless of who he's facing, is that poke damage. But you get the BT completed and basically denies any amount of poke coming through. You just heal it right back up if it lands. So the main threat from X-Fluke mostly going to be gone for the next few moments, probably about, I'd say 5 or 6 minutes about. And it's also such a really good first item. Cherry, though, trying to find Nezumi.
Ooh, Nezumi putting in the cage. Pressed R finds one. Good knockup from Phoenix Flare. And unfortunately, they are a member down from the Nezumi burst, so they're going to have to disengage on that. They probably won't even be able to find a follow-up after.
Yeah, and it's another really good setup. Nezumi's Event Horizon allows the Audacious Charge to come through onto a squishy target like Cool Kitten. That comes through. It's basically over for the Talia. That being said, X-Fluke in trouble. Che getting yet another kill. I didn't have time to throw it over to you because that is an isolated Ziggs. And yeah, completely
And there
eliminated.
is a lot. Well, I wouldn't say there's a lot of items under Shay's belt. But that Bloodthirster is definitely making a lot of noise there. As the Cataclysm comes down, big dunk going through Fireflans under tower for a very long time. That tower ramp is going to be more than enough to find it and close that one down. The World Ender ending top lane streams right now. My gosh.
Yep, that is one of the dangers of trying to dive in Aatrox. If you don't kill him before he pops that World Ender and gets his heals coming through, Z333 is able to survive that, and the amount of tower damage that the successive tower shots do is enough to be able to get him a solo kill onto Fireflans. I don't think it's doomed quite just yet in the 1v1, but a few more like that, and it becomes a bit more sketchy. There, Darius really thrives on his early game potential, and like I said, not nearly over for Fireflans, but it's one that you would definitely like to have back.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing is, things aren't going the way it was for the Strikers in this second game as it was. So no. I feel like I feel it's it's hunger. It's not desperation just yet. But you don't want, how bad it can get. You've put people in that place. You know how bad games can get and just run out of hand. So you're trying to just kind of stop the bleeding and kind of nurse yourself back to get into a full fighting fit. But you gotta watch it, man.
mean,
Little
look at the
mistakes like
gold
that can
difference.
definitely
Look at
close
the
it
gold
out.
difference though
Yeah.
on these targets, especially it's on the key members that you would want for the side of Dorado Gaming Delta, on Che, on Nezumi, and especially Nezumi. It's only going to be a bit more difficult to deal with as time goes on, because he's stacking up that Rod of Ages. Phoenix Flare flashing forward onto X Fluke.
I saw the vision, but I think he should be able to get out of that. I spoke way too early. Granted, and maybe not as many ults were needed there, but that's going to be another pickup there onto Fluke. Feeling the mode right now as we get into this top lane fist fight here. Going to use the Stride Breaker to W to Q as well,
Gonna try
too.
to dive Z
but
again.
Z33
They're going to try to dive
kind of
him.
healthy right now, but here comes the rest of the team. The World Ender going to be procced as here comes the tower shots. 2, 3, 4. It's taking too long. That's going to start burning. They find it. Ooh, Dr. Pepper living with a hope and a dream there. Very close call there. Top lane will find the tower taken, but mid lane will be saved from the Super Mega Death Bomb.
A Mega Inferno Bomb going to clear out the wave by X Fluke. Good use of that Ziggs ultimate. Has very low cooldown anyway, so going to be picking up some extra gold for himself. And, thankfully that dive ended up working out in favor of Akuma Strikers, because that definitely looked very dangerous. And another injection
Very
of gold
sketchy.
after committing so much to the top lane to try to keep Z333 out of this game as much as possible. And it's proactive play from the side of Akuma Strikers, and it's the best thing they can do. But like, all things considered, they get yet another kill onto X Fluke. They get that tower in the bot lane. This misfortune is looking really big, and Nezumi's also continuing to scale up, and they get that, and I see what's the plays, and you kind of do have to try to make these plays when you are behind. But I think overall, on the side of Dorado Gaming Delta, they get they trade up slightly in that exchange.
It's not the end of the world there. Obviously, Z33 having a difficult time in the lane, but not necessarily out of the ballpark just yet. It's always sketchy with Aatrox. You feel like you got him down. You cannot have to deal with him, don't have to worry about him, and then all of a sudden, he's just ripping through your entire team. But like you mentioned, Nezumi and Shay right now are the real big threats right now. So it's like, yeah, sure, you got Z33, yeah, sure, you got top lane, but you still have two huge threats to deal with. And I'm interested to see how Strikers kind of try to figure this out. The Weaver Wall, going to try to block them off from their tower, but I think it's going to be off a little bit. The TP going to be used there for Nezumi to match back. The TP also going to be followed up there by Z. So it is going to be the full 5-man. We have the 5-man also as well for the Strikers. Drake is up, if I'm not mistaken, or soon to be up.
It is up.
Now, blue side going to push forward. Nice ult there coming from Nico. Gonna find a Cataclysm as well, too. The shutdown on a Touche, who's the big damage dealer for the side of Dorado. And they're going to go down. Phoenix Flare following up right behind as well, too. Nezumi also gonna follow behind. J Core is gonna fall.
Yeah.
And it just looks like a tower of cards for the side of Dorado. I am flabbergasted right now how this entire match has just flipped that quick.
I mean, what an angle from Dr. Pepper to find out Che to start out that fight on the Nico in the little brush behind the Drake pick to be able to go forward to find a Pop Blossom that sets up the the perfect angle from Strikers. And Che is such a large portion of the damage. Nezumi still needs a little bit more time to scale up to be the really big damage threat that Vhagar eventually does become. And so without Che at this point in the game, it's completely done. And as soon as Fireflans arrived, it was no question how the rest of that fight was going to go. And so now Akuma Strikers, for the first time this game, take a gold advantage. They stop the bleeding in a pretty big way. And I mean, I think big way is really underselling it as my own statement of how much they've managed to be able to do. But Rift Herald is up. Che is back up. Does have access to a flash, so they can go again. They still have a bit of fighting potential behind them, and I think Strikers are going to recognize this.
that slowed Dorado down. That did not put the threat of this entire team completely in the dark just yet. They secured a Herald. I think it's a great call from Strikers to kind of give that one, unfortunately. Granted, you just won that team fight, but let's not, let's not push it and get greedy now and, crumble everything that we just gathered. So I feel like it was the smart call, but now watching Herald come down and just get this tower for free, it's rough. It's rough.
I don't know if it's really for free because look at the top lane. Fireflans is pushing it. Oh wait, hold on, shutdown. Wait a second, shutdown for Nezumi.
Hey.
Wait a second.
Tokyo
Hold
Drift
up, that's a big one.
Ooh.
That's a huge one with Otacon up and available as well.
Let's see, two level gap right now for Fireflans. They can't just let him do what he wants. They are going to try to go for the Otacon instead of helping out the top laner. I think they're just going to go for the towers over challenging the objective, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that overall.
I feel like that's pretty okay. That's 1,400. Yeah, that's 1,400 gold for Akuma Strikers from just the tier 2 towers alone. It's 700 gold per tier 2 tower. And chasing over to try to maybe steal an Otacon away is
get the guarantee. No.
Yeah, to get the guaranteed 1.4k gold, that's a really big injection of gold. I think in the near term does actually, I think, help out the Strikers a bit more. Kind of get to their item completions. Cool Kitten now sitting on the Seraph's Embrace and the Leandri's Torment. Off those extra gold income from the recalls, a lot of their members are on 2 item completion points, and I mean right now, at the very least for Dorado Gaming Delta, it is the Vagar, it is the Misfortune at 2 items, so it's not the end of the world, but I think as Akuma Strikers getting that immediate burst of power from completing all your second items from those towers, it's I think it's worth. I'm pretty sure it's worth.
Yeah. I mean, they're still in the lead right now. Only 2 kills really make the difference here in between the KDA for the teams. Only a Drake down as well, too. So, I mean, overall, you can't... Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think that was right. I just don't like watching objectives go for free, I guess.
My point is that, I mean, uncontested, yeah, I guess the fights are fun. And,
exactly.
Right? And,
exactly.
As a viewing spectacle, seeing the teams clash together and drop all their abilities is definitely a lot more exhilarating.
That's all. Than them playing proper League of Legends. How dare they?
Yeah, how dare they play to win in the finals? How... The audacity of Akuma Strikers to try to play optimally in the final with with the do or die situation. How could the audacity, the gall of Akuma Strikers to be able to come through? I think in the long run, obviously the permanent buff of the Otacon will feel better, especially as time goes on, especially with how much upfront burst Nezumi has. You get that AoE slow as a result. If this game goes really long, I think the Otacon definitely feels really good, but in the near term, especially now that they are on their 2 item spikes for a lot of them, I think it's the moment that as Akuma Strikers, you want to be trying to find these fights with the Drake spawning up. This is the perfect time for Akuma to try to blast open the game. It doesn't look like Dorado's going to give it up for free.
Yeah. Let's see.
You there?
As we get on into it right now, X-Tech is going to be taking its focus over onto Akuma Strikers right now. As we do kind of see a hesitation here from the side of Dorado. Not want to fully commit their J-Core looking for that opportunity. He wants this hook so bad. 10k still onto the Drake. Plenty of time. Z33 rotating around the wall right now. Gonna run into the Nico clone and into that Cool Kitten. We should see the convergence onto this Drake right now. Hopefully they don't full commit onto the clone. They do not.
We might be at different times.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you still what?
As we
Did
still
you saw the
go
fight
forward to
happen,
the Drake
right?
Here. 9K left right now.
I think we just might be at completely different times because on my end the fight's completely over. I don't want to spoil things for you, but I think latency might have come into play because on my end, Akuma strikers have gone a little bit too far. Dr. Pepper, it looked like a really good angle. Yeah, I mean, I know you've been having a few internet connection issues, so I'm just going to continue on as if the fight had already gone through because I mean, it looked promising from Dr. Pepper. It looked really promising with the Weaver's Wall cutting the fight in half. But I think it was perhaps a little bit too early from the Nico because, you know, the Pop Blossom came down to multiple targets, but there wasn't really anything there to follow up. And so Dorado Gaming take the fight really cleanly. They are strikers at the very least able to take the Drake for themselves. They don't allow Dorado Gaming Delta to go onto that soul point, so at the very least they get what they came for, namely in that Drake, but actually could be in trouble here.
Oh. Phoenix Flare gonna catch him yet again. Fluke gonna be able to get the flash from Cherry with the EQ Cataclysm. That damage was serious. As Che is going to pick it up 1-for-1. Z on the TP rotate here to Pop Blossom is going to whiff just a bit. Going to put Nico into a cage, and I think that's going to be the rest of that team fight unless this Weaver Wall says otherwise. Okay, no follow-up onto it, though.
Yeah, they're just going to use the Weaver's Wall to isolate the wave to ensure that Nezumi, who I think was 1W, deleted half of Dr. Pepper's health. So even though they get Che going a little bit too far forward to be able to get the kill onto X-Flip, which goes back 1-for-1 with Nezumi still up and alive. It doesn't really matter how low J-Core-Core's health is. It's always a very big threat for the side of Akuma Strikers. So they'll take the trade, they'll take the one kill, they'll back off, and won't look for too much else, especially with Baron up and available. I mean, if you try to push things a bit too far and you lose the fight, you lose the Baron, you back off, take your breath, you go back once again. I think they'll be okay.
I think so. I think really overall securing that dragon, stopping Dorado from being on Soul Point, it being Hex Tech matters. It's not the worst dragon soul that they can secure, but overall,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good overall, you know. So I do like that they were able to kind of put a nip into that. Now they just need a better team fight. They can't get away with what happened at that Drake. They need that Pop Blossom to really find its mark like they did the team fight before that one.
I'm trying to find Phoenix Flare,
here. I do like the flank here. Phoenix Flare kind of going to get caught. Is going to have to use, the W there to stop that EQ flag and drag. It is going to allow them to disengage and get back there. That could have been a very scary situation for the side of Dorado.
Yeah, but they get the bullet time out of Che, which is, a large source of damage for Dorado Gaming Delta. I don't think it's enough to immediately turn on to the Baron and be like, fight us, bet. But it definitely definitely allows them some sort of leeway to be able to start to threaten this Baron, try to drag Dorado Gaming around the map, which they kind of do here. You see the response immediately from Dorado is to go onto the Baron. They're actually starting it up.
Oh man, 14K and counting right now. Vision is going to be dropped, so they do know 9K left right now. They have to retreat back here. They have to play this very careful. All five going through the event horizon is there. Cherry is going to get bursted. The Cataclysm is going to hold him down, followed up with the Weaver's Wall. The Pop Blossom is going to find two. In comes Fire Flares, and he is just downright Darius Duncan left and right. Blink 3 are gone off the map. ZZ3 is going to be following up.
Wait, hold on. No,
but
okay,
then
there's
the
no way.
heal is not going to be enough there. That was definitely a bit of a panic there. But like we mentioned, this is what strikers need in an overall team fight. This is what they're looking for. Them coming out on top. If Cool Kitten was more alive, I feel they could have gotten a little more for what they just got. But overall, it's really starting to show, like, hey, Dorado, you cannot come into these jungles improperly, or else we are going to punish you.
Yeah, especially if Fireflance keep finding these flank angles. He's having an absolutely
are crazy.
incredible game because, I mean, you saw the amount of burst damage Nezumi did down immediately onto Cool Kitten, actually, because, you know, the engage looked good, and then Nezumi found a few kills, and then, you know, my brain was like, oh, Nezumi's alive. Chase technically on, like, a little bit of health. Perhaps that Dorado Gaming turns this engage around, but as soon as Fireflans arrive, they move onto it, they find the kills, and now on the Drake. Doesn't look like it's going to be contested by the side of Dorado Gaming Delta. Do they even know? Because
there's no vision.
Lackadaisical, yeah.
There's no vision there. I think they were questioning whether if they were at Baron or if they were at Drake. And just to kind of blindly check either, it could have been a death sentence, honestly. So I think that's where that kind of lapse
Wait, Kay's in trouble.
Was there. Weaver wall, Shay, Flare, kind of stuck, but the hook going to go. That lands onto the clone. Pop bubble onto to Shay, but ZZ3 is there. Flan's going to find Thresh and hold him down. Dr. Pepper is going to get traded. The Event Horizon onto Cherry is going to find its mark as well, too. Big burst from Nezumi, locking that down. That's going to be a 2-for-1 for the side of Dorado.
Yeah, and importantly, Chase stays alive as well. They only lose J Core in the process, which allows, you know, he has a Bloodthirst available. He heals right back up. They have Nezumi and Che. There's no smite available for Akuma Strikers, so Dorado Game moves straight on to the Baron. Cool Kitten and X-Fluke and Fireflans are still alive. Those are very big threats. Fireflans stunned.
Big bullet time there as well. Fireflance still keeping himself afloat, but now Phoenix Flare is down. He is legendary. He cannot follow up. Ghost is unavailable right now. Shay using the scuttle to just kind of sustain themselves and keep themselves afloat. Now with Phoenix Flare at the gray screen, now it's going to be Striker's turn to try to take down this Baron. Shay still available. Make it rain, going to add in a little bit of damage and just let them know, hey, we're here. Nezumi still full health. Event Horizon is unavailable. The Pop Blossom going to go. Dr. Pepper with the disguise, making Nezumi wasted, but it's still back and forth. But Fireflance finds the dunk. He gets deleted by Nezumi. This might be the fight that Dorado needs. Z33, the World Ender, is available. It's being used. They are on the run. They are scattering. As now it looks like they're just going to full charge forward down the mid lane.
Oh,
Forget the Baron. Forget the Baron. Who needs the Baron when we have damage?
Nice. Perhaps I mean they'll get the mid lane tower and then immediately move back straight to the Baron. But I don't know. I feel like if you want to push mid and then maybe look for it, you have to either stop the recalls if you're on Z33 and, like, you know, throw caution to the wind in terms of a health bar, because you have to stick around and pick up the Baron or you know, push mid, try to find the end. They don't get either. They only get the mid lane tier 3. Baron's still on the map, and honestly, it's a split call from Dorado Gaming Delta, and I think it may have been too over ambitious to try to look for the end and, like, send Z333 to be able to, you know, push forward, stop the recalls. But I mean, if you're throwing it that much, maybe it's a sunk cost fallacy on my part in that regard, in that decision making. But you know, it doesn't feel nearly as good as it probably could have been for Dorado Gaming Delta, and, you know, no Baron after winning that fight. I think they would have been feeling a little bit better with that available to them. They could have found Fireflans though. Up to core, JJ.
That's a hook down. We're gonna use that Stride Breaker as well. Bullet time gonna be used just to keep himself afloat, and now Cherry going to get hooked, but the Pop Blossom for 3. It's gonna look good as Poppy is able to get the ult through the Weaver's wall. And it is going to be the disengage that they need. Oh, man, the back and forth. This can be anyone's game right now. Both teams know it, as we are just a few moments away from this 6th streak for the game. This is sole point for Strikers.
Yeah, but no bullet time, no Keeper's Verdict, no World Ender available for Dorado Gaming Delta. At the very least, no Weaver's Wall as well, or Mega Inferno Bomb on the side of Strikers, but I think if you were Strikers, maybe not start up the Baron, but perhaps try to tempt Dorado Gaming a little bit without a lot of their team fighting abilities available to them. Don't opt to do that, which, you know, is a safe move. Instead, they look for it. Isolated Cool Kitten.
Yeah, Cool Kitten gonna get pushed up against the wall right now. Has to get away from this Event Horizon, but now just a press of a button, Nezumi is gonna find it. The Pop Blossom not gonna be it, and now they are scrambling. That's gonna be 2 members of Strikers down. Dorado pushing straight forward onto that Baron.
They have to get all the way across the map to be able to do it. They don't have teleport on Nezumi, so the response from Akuma Strikers is to place down a little bit of vision, set up for a potential steal, try to buy time for Dr. Pepper and Cool Kitten to be able to come back with the access to the Hex Gates on the Hex Tech, Soul map. It will give them time to be able to maybe respond to this one. Dorado Gaming Delta don't have the fastest take in the world, but considering where Cherry's going, it looks like Akuma Strikers, they just want to give this one up and live to fight another day.
I think that's really the only call they had. It's unfortunate, but
Wait,
you
no,
gotta
Drake's
be
up.
careful, especially.
Wait, they're on Soul Point and
Oh.
Drake's up. Hold up.
Oh,
This might
man.
actually.
They're starting it. 9K with the Baron buff right now. If anything, this is Dorado's, and they need to make sure and make it a point. 4K down, looking at it.
There he's
3K,
there.
looking for the smite. It's going to be secured, but the pop is going to catch 4. Che's going to find Dr. Pepper. The bullet time is not going to do a lot of damage there. It's a 1-for-1 trade for the supports, but that's going to stop the Dragon Soul being secured by the Strikers, the Weaver's Wall, to kind of cut Che's escape route away, but they're still going to be able to escape. Oh, this is definitely unfortunate for the side of Strikers.
No, it was really honestly a perfect keeper's verdict from Phoenix Flare to send Cherry out of the pit to make it from what looked like it was going to be a 50-50 to a guaranteed fight going the way of Dorado Gaming Delta. Honestly, Phoenix Flare playing that fight out perfectly with how fine the margins were, thriving under pressure, ensuring that Dorado Gaming Delta put themselves onto Soulport, making sure that the tempo play from the side of Strikers doesn't quite go against them. And so Dorado Gaming Delta now, we had a few moments ago, Nezumi, I did notice, had over 1k AP now on the Veigar, is really big.
Yeah.
Also with the Crypt Bloom as well, doing a lot to help survive out these fights. We saw a few times where he finds the initial burst onto single target to then heal up any sort of progress the Strikers may have found through. And so he's able to build these more utility items with just passively how much AP you get from the phenomenal evil power on the Veigar end is, it's very big level 18 as well. It's a very big problem that Strikers are going to have to manage to navigate, especially now with Baron up and available at a Dead Sentence lands.
Cherry with the hook. See ya later.
Wow.
That damage is redonkulous. The Weaver's Wall was used there, unfortunately, and now they are a member down as you see the full force of the 5 members of Dorado pushing and sieging this top lane inhibitor tower. Now it's just a moment of time now as they try to find a pick there. Phoenix Flare gonna tackle the clone back, but not gonna waste valuable resources onto it. So to get the redemption, that little bit of chip that they just got dealt is now gonna be brought back. Nezumi off cooldowns, has the ult available as well too. Event Horizon gonna hit yet again. Dr. Pepper, my gosh, that's just a QW right there.
Yeah, it's going to poke Dr. Pepper out quite a bit. Luckily, doesn't quite have the ability to find the lethal damage onto the support of Akuma Strikers. And another thing that's a bit helpful for Akuma Strikers is the amount of wave clear that they have with X-Fluke. They're able to survive the Baron push. They're able to, to stop the siege. They will live to see another day with that wave clear that X-Fluke has to buy them a little bit more time. Give them a moment to be able to try to come back into this game, but I mean, we saw a little bit earlier with how much AP Nezumi has, and eventually if we get another look at it to get an update on just how big this Veigar is. There's a ton of damage we saw, as you mentioned, onto Dr. Pepper, but it's just more indicative of the current state of affairs for Akuma Strikers walking into a really big and fed Nezumi.
It's a very scary situation to be right now. And this window of opportunity to bring back this game is closing rapidly. The longer this game goes, the harder it is for them to get back into this game. And right now, as long as Dorado keeps playing their cards properly, they got this one in the bag.
I think if there is a way back into this one for Akuma Strikers, it will be on some of these incredible flanks that we saw earlier from Fireflans. If they can somehow manage to pick out Nizumi early on, if they somehow manage to close the gap onto Che, if they can get a great flank angle from Dr. Pepper as well to follow up on that, to ensure the CC comes through, they might just have enough about them to be able to turn this one around. It is a definite if, though, and if they don't find that initial damage onto a key target, it becomes nigh on impossible to be able to win a fight for the side of Akuma Strikers. We should have Drake spawning up in the next few minutes, though, and set up an inside edge to the side of Dorado Gaming Delta. There it is. We see it spawning now. We don't quite have timers up, but it is there, and they are ready to go. And stakes are the soul. Will Akuma Strikers be able to come through onto the...
Let's see. Weaver's Wall gonna pinch it there. The Pop Blossom gonna find not a lot of damage there as Fireflan trying to find a flank but can't. The bullet time going to not land much. Z33 on the run. That's gonna be the dunk Fireflan needs to get that passive going. He is starting to go on the hunt as this fight is starting to look more like Strikers, as we do see Phoenix Flare go forward and fall. The soul gonna be secured. Nizumi dunked as J Core trying to keep him afloat, and now they are running down the last few members here of Dorado Gaming.
They needed a flank, and they found it from Fireflan's Cherry. Arriving death sentence not going to land, and they're going to look for a bit more. Che going to have to flash away from Fireflans, but it won't matter. This Darius, once he gets close to Che, does so much damage. They have a push in the top lane as well, and despite how the fights have gone, Akuma Strikers will take game 2 against the odds off of one fight at the very end. I mean...
how the flipped has taken.
Wow.
My gosh. Insanity there. And it just shows the conviction and the drive there for Akuma Strikers. We were ready to call these guys out. This was Dorado's game, if I'm being honest. I totally saw this coming to being a one-to-one in the series. And somehow, some way, they manage to get themselves out of such a sticky situation to then not only flip the match, but then get it under their belt. 2 up right now onto Dorado. And I gotta say, it is definitely a big MVP shoutouts to Darius.
Yeah, the flank at the end there to be able to separate out the fight, to cause chaos, to not allow Dorado Gaming Delta to be able to set up in the way they want, was the thing that brought things back around for them, as well as X-Fluke, you know, doing Zig's numbers as well. I think did a really good job to stop that Baron push on top. But look at the gold graph. That's
it's
just
a seesaw. It's a seesaw.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that. It's not only is it a seesaw. It's at the very end with how big the peaks of the blue side Golden Mountains were to immediately tank down to the Valley of an Akuma Strikers victory. It was so sudden, and maybe not completely against the run of play, considering how that Baron push did kind of get negated out. But for the most part, you still have got to say that it's very much a massive turnaround from Akuma Strikers to be able to take game 2 off the back of really was one big fight that all they needed at the end. And yeah, I mean, Dorado Gaming Delta, they've got work cut out for them, because, you know, 2-0 down after being in such a huge lead in such an advantageous position. It's one that, you know, the nail isn't in the coffin, but the hammer's coming down on them, and they're going to need something big to be able to turn this one around.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. and we are going to be going to our drafts very soon for game 3. But this is looking a match point right now for Akuma Strikers. Before we get to drafts, we're going to take a quick, slight break. I have to get up after that one. My gosh, that was a nail biter through and through. I still don't count Dorado yet. Everyone out in chat, don't count him out just yet. Keep believing. With that said, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game 3 of draft picks on the way.
We are back once again for a Game 3 match point situation to the side of Akuma Strikers here in the Blue Otter Diamond League after what was a heartbreak of a Game 2 for Dorado Gaming Delta. And it's after games like those where it's a lot easier to come back from stomps like Game 1 was to the side of Strikers. But after games like those, it's one of those where if you're playing that game out in solo queue, at least if you're me, you go, okay, well, I think that just might be it for today. We'll call it a night and then come back better tomorrow. But in the result, so you know, Dorado Gaming Delta don't quite have that luxury to be able to do so. Now their backs against the wall. It definitely take a lot to be able to, you know, refresh, lock back in for this game to be able to try to send us to a game 4 and maybe even a potential reverse sweep for Dorado Gaming Delta. We'll have to wait and see what they go through. Bands looking fairly similar starting out. Between these two teams, Azir and Mel taken off the board. We saw a decent amount of jungle focus coming through out of these two teams. So Zach's taken off the board. I think I hear Huey is back.
Yo.
There we go. Okay, cool.
I am here, and I'm ready, man. Looking at the bands, like you were saying, it is a lot of jungle-eccentric focus. But I think, honestly, with how these games have been going, where it really kind of been breaking down at the objectives, at Drag and at Void, I feel this is a really good focus. And I feel like I wouldn't necessarily say it makes it breaks, but it's definitely going to be a vital point in the team composition overall as we get first round ADC. What am I talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, Varus is especially at this point in the game with a lot of the other like ADCs off the board, Varus is a pretty solid shout as a first pick. He's very versatile, does a bunch of damage, and yeah, generally not a bad first pick overall. And coming into game 3, I don't mind it all too much. But the response for the side of Akuma Strikers is to pick up the Sivir to, you know, again. Oh, wait, never mind. It looked like it was a lock-in. I didn't see the blinking, but wait, so then why did it switch to Hwei?
I thought it was. I was agreeing with you. I thought it was a lock.
yeah, right?
Sivir, the last.
Did you see the red? Did you see the red flashing? I didn't see the red flashing.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it into the Hwei lock. But I thought that was a Sivir pick all day. I was gonna say I'm not the biggest fan of it, but Hwei in the mid lane with Cool Kitten, I'm chilling with that. I'm not mad at that pick at all.
It is one that is very much a like Cool Kitten style of champion. They do really like these control mages as well. But they really like these control mages, and so picking it up is one that is available. Is right in the wheelhouse of Cool Kitten. Going to be picking up the Ashe as well for what is actually can do a decent amount of damage with the Rangers focus up pretty much 24/7 in the late game. Can definitely do quite a bit of work. The response for Dorado Gaming Delta will be picking up the Victor for Nezumi, and this is definitely one of, if not Nezumi's best champion.
Yeah, I could tell they are definitely in that control mage pocket as well too. And Victor, a great pick overall, super duper strong, able to kind of keep the range with Hwei. I think Hwei still has a little more poke a little further, but if anyone can keep a candle to Hwei, it's definitely Victor.
Yeah, that is a lock-in on the Yone though, because the bans are already, second round of bans already coming through, so that'll be a Yone presumably for Fire Flans. And I mean, I guess we saw his Darius game last time around was really good. It definitely has potential to be able to carry these games. Yone's just not one I've seen too much out of Fire Flans just yet. Assuming that it is going into the hands of Fire Flans, I'm going to guess more than likely that it would have to be, because you know we already have Hwei picked mid.
Yeah, which way would that be?
Yeah, so
Okay.
no, I feel like this, but like blinding Yone top. I mean, I guess you're up 2-0 if there's a time to do it. I suppose that was the case, but we will get some exciting action here in the top lane once again for Fire Flans, presumably on Yone. Going through second round of bans, Dorado Gaming Delta, interesting enough, are going to be taking off Kindred themselves. That's odd. That's like one of Phoenix Flare's staples. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, a little confusing.
Maybe there was a
but-
slight miscommunication there. Maybe Cringer was supposed to be locked in, got clicked.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, Akuma Strikers
Just
going to be.
speculating, just speculating.
Maybe. I guess it's better than not having a guess at all, which is
Right.
what I have on my end. But aside
I mean,
from
the
Akuma
pressure's
Strikers,
on. Things definitely can happen like that.
I think if you're banning out the wrong champion in draft, if your mental's that far gone, like honestly, maybe you just might want to consider
Said be done.
going next, right? That was I don't think personally that is what happened, but that is a wild shout. Coming through though, going to be 4 bans in the jungle. The Rammus and Malphite not going to be in the hands of either of these two teams. It's taken away by Akuma Strikers as well as Kindred and Belveth going to be taken away, which leaves the Morgana more than likely jungle open for Cherry on Akuma Strikers.
Gonna follow up with the Nocturne right after. How do you feel about that match? Nocturne into Morgana?
I don't know if I've ever seen this specific matchup played out. I think the clear speed, I would assume, probably favors Morgana, especially as the game goes on. I think Morgana provides a lot of utility. I think if Nocturne finds Morgana isolated, it could be troublesome. But other than that, okay, Olaf locked in by the side of Dorado Gaming Omega, and actually could like this pick quite a bit. Being able to run down the likes of the Hui and the Ashe, not going to be able to be CC'd as he pops the Ragnarok. So, these things come through. Wait, I'm thinking Morgana with Camille. Wait a second. Camille jungle?
What are you cooking up? What are you cooking up?
What am I cooking up? What are Akuma Strikers cooking up? Like
Alright, so where do you see-
Camille support? Morgana support Camille Yone jungle?
I think it's gotta be. Ooh.
Right? Wait, you see what I mean, right? What are Strikers cooking?
It's gotta be the Camille.
What is it?
Jungle? Yeah, it's gotta be Camille jungle.
Yeah, then Morgana support into Emilio though? That feels so bad. Right?
No,
Kinda.
But it's
I
not
suppose.
the.
I mean,
It's
I
not
guess
the
if you
end.
find.
It's not the end of the world, honestly, because if you still find that dark binding on either of them,
Yeah, I suppose.
you're still in
you
trouble.
know, if you throw,
You're still in trouble.
it does allow you to max start binding first as well to get the increased CC duration. But even then, if it hits Olaf, he doesn't care.
Oh yeah. Roar. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Well, I mean, I guess
But
they're
I
up
wouldn't
2-0.
say- I wouldn't
They're
say
allowed.
that
They
it's
have.
like- I wouldn't say that it's completely. I wouldn't say it's completely unorthodox. You know, I feel they got something going. Look at the look later. Look at the team composition later. You have the Hextech lockdown. You have Morgana locking it down with Dark Binding as well too. You have Yon going all crazy. You have Hui hitting you from base, and then you get hit by Enchanted Crystallize Hair. You know, it's there. The front line, little lack.
Frankly, I'm not as convinced by this Akuma Sabres draft as that. I think because maybe you could throw a Black Shield on Yone and then he does Yone things, but it's really difficult to be able to get on. I mean, Varus has tons of range. Victor has tons of range. Even if you find them, Emilio has so much peel. And even if you go way too deep, isolated too far from the rest of your team, Olaf just runs down your Ashe and your Hui, and he doesn't care at all, and then just completely deletes them alongside Nocturne. And I don't know. I feel like Akuma Strikers have definitely overcooked their draft a bit too much. Like it's starting to become all crusty. Yeah, they set the oven to 450 degrees and left it in for 3 hours, and now the lasagna doesn't resemble lasagna at all.
Well,
so
we're gonna see and find out. Game 3 on the way very momentarily, guys. Don't go anywhere. Be sure to keep it locked, and be sure to be out in chat rooting for your favorite team, man, because I want to hear from what you guys think too. With that being said, we'll be right back, guys.
What does it mean to be happy? 'Cause it looks like we all don't know. Glass half full or empty. Man, we just putting on the show. Try to look to the heavens to tell us things that we beg to know. Like, what did this all mean? There's no tomorrow. Oh, you know no tomorrow. Oh, you know, I try to find a purpose in my life to drive me, to guide me. Oh, doctor, I feel dead inside.
Blue Otter League, we are back. Game 3, match point for the Akuma Strikers. If Dorado's going to do anything, their time is now. It is do and die. They will be taking blue side. Akuma Strikers will be on red side. It is your boy Huey on the mic. With me is Isaac, and we get to watch the Christmas frog and the duck here from our homie left. Big shout outs, of course, to production as well too. And Isaac, I'm gonna ask it again. You were right, almost. Yeah, no, you're 2 for 2 right
It's
now.
way support.
So where are we going? It is way support. We said surely it's not gonna be way support yet. Here we are.
I don't know. I said it once already. I think Akuma Strikers may have overcooked a little bit, with their draft. I mean, I guess they're allowed to, being up 2-0.
Yeah.
They're allowed one where they go a bit crazy with their choices of champions in the game. But I don't think I'm necessarily the biggest fan, unless like Fireflans goes crazy in the top lane, which I guess they probably do have might have some license to do. I think Carry on the Morgana should definitely be clearing faster than Phoenix Flare, and could try to draw pressure around the map. Maybe
Possibly.
I feel
He's
like I'm
trying.
clutching at straws
He's
with this
trying,
one,
yeah.
more than like an actual this is like their path to victory. More of like almost a cope kind of.
It's all speculation.
Sort
It's all
of,
speculation. Is all.
planning, but
But we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Listen. If it's anybody, it's Dr. Pepper. I believe in him still. Let's see what they can do. I also believe in the Camille top. Huge Camille fan. Always love to see her cook. Ooh, nice catch here on the level 2 in the bot lane. Che going to finally be able to get that level 2 response back. It was a pretty even trade after J Core healed up Che there, but nice catch overall though from Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, utilizing that level 2 advantage, as is.
Ooh.
Okay, going forward.
Big CC yet again. Shay, Core on cooldowns, had to pop the flash. There goes the volley right now. 10%. I don't know if the dives commit. The lightning bolt going to come down. Shay on the run. Dr. Pepper making us eat our words as he shows as to why he picked. As he picked Hui in the bot lane as support.
Yeah, you know what? Fair play, right? I was not familiar with the game of Dr. Pepper, or I'm familiar with Dr. Pepper's game. I wasn't familiar with his way support game. Fair. And completely honest, the amount of times I've seen this guy play, I probably should have expected something like this. And I was wrong to doubt, but fair play to the bot lane of Strikers. But Che now going forward onto Dr. Pepper.
Che with the TP, the heat is on, has the little help there from J Core, but the volley putting in some damage. Che's going to have to respect that again. J Core pushing forward, the pots are running as well too, looking for that soccer kick, but is unfortunately not going to get it.
Yeah, the Hunter's volley doing a decent amount of damage in return onto Che, so they can't look to put that extra kill pressure down onto Dr. Pepper, but with Phoenix Flare arriving, it's probably going to look to come through Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Phoenix Flare's here.
Gotta force the flash there. The fear is procced as well. First blood going to land. That's going to be an easy pickup, but it's going to be traded back. Oh, that was almost 2. The minions putting in the work. That is going to be 2-for-1 special in the bot lane, but not the way that I was thinking.
Unfortunately, X Fluke doesn't quite get the kill onto J Core. Didn't have any damage from the second tower shot coming through onto the support. But I think in the end, considering in the gank, being able to get 1 kill back, almost 2, kind of nullifying things down there, it feels really good for the side of Akuma Strikers to be able to get that extra kill onto your Ashe, onto your ADC. Going to be walking back with tier 2 boots as well. Getting that extra attack speed. Definitely feels really good on the Ashe to allow you to land these slows a lot more frequently. Be a bit more effective in these fights, which could definitely arrive soon in around Drake, which is now on the map and available.
That's going to be Cloud Drake for the first Drake. Interesting. As that pressure's still going down in the bot lane right now. But you gotta be careful. Phoenix Flare picked up 2. Is able to get the driller in pocket as well too. Not a bad item component to pick up or spy. Not super crazy, but still pretty good one overall.
As well as Che picking up. The very least does have their tier, so will be a little bit of assistance in the amount of mana that they have. But taking a look around, relatively even so far. Cool Kitten picking up the Vamp Scepter will help them in this matchup. Over Nezumi will allow them to heal back up off of the poke that this Victor does with the extra range. So would be feeling quite good now in the mid lane, but we've got a potential kerfuffle starting to range here on top half the map. I think Phoenix Slayer is going to get it up, but
train is crazy. Dr. Pepper with the catch yet again, putting down that burst there, forcing the only last pot out of Shay's pocket there.
You know what?
Yeah, both Core and Shay right now at 50 and have to respect this Dr. Pepper's approach.
Like I said it earlier, but fair play. I didn't recognize Dr. Pepper's game on this way, and it's not quite been converted into a CS league just yet. So even though the pressure is mounting from this Ashe Quay bot lane, the very least for Che and J Core and the rest of Dorado Gaming Delta, it's not really been able to fully capitalize on it and puts this spot lane behind in terms of gold. And I think Che's going to be feeling quite good about that and keeping up, going to be able to recall through. I don't think he comes back with anything other than maybe a serrated Dirk, though. It is a decent component to be able to. Yeah, it's not a bad component to be able to have. He also has teleport once again, back up and available. But having to recall there,
sneaking that Drake.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily sneaking, more so that they know that the bot lane has the push, that it's going to take longer for Dorado Gaming to arrive, but they are going to attempt to.
Comes a Paranoia. Paranoia is going to hit. Nice steal, but I think it's going to be his life, but he is 2-0. He should be able to sustain till the team goes up. Corruption goes through, but the ult going to help a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to really save Phoenix's Flare's life. But I think he completed his mission there. Beautiful steal there.
Yeah, they get the Drake, and they'll get a bit more. Che in trouble though.
Oh man, big ult there on the Shay, going to live, but is going to have to step back a little bit. The Furnace is going to help sustain a Shay and Core a little bit, but that pressure coming from Dr. Pepper is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it hasn't turned into a CS lead yet, but with Che and J Core very low, they're going to have to back off the wave a good distance, probably going to give up quite a few minions in the process, as well as give over a few towers. J Core getting chunked out even more, and so they're going to have to back off here. They're going to, at the very least, lose one wave, as Che had used that teleport early, but we've got to fight around the grubs.
There we go. Sherry trying to drop that Dark Binding. The Black Shield is also down as well. It's a 3v2 situation right now. We do see Nezumi starting to rotate over. One avoid was secured. I think that is the mission strikers were going for, so to negate the full 3 passive, and I think that's optimal.
Yeah, they used the
got.
extra time that Cool Kitten had in the mid lane coming through with the Vamp Scepter that they had for himself to be able to, as I said, completely negate the poke from Nezumi. And as soon as Nezumi cleared out, that wave was starting to arrive once again. They, back off. They got what they came for, as you mentioned. They did not give over that full set of grubs. Feeling all right for the side of Akuma Strikers. But I think at the end of the day, Cool Kitten, he's been farming up really well ever since he got that Vamp Scepter. Was started to take a minor gold lead. Hold on, Che. Trouble. Oh, wait, hold up.
Oh, there goes the Paranoia, though. Paranoia on the top side there. Just trying to hold out under the tower. A fire flange is going to strike himself over into the top. Puts onto the damage. We're going to go to a replay there for you guys for that one.
Yeah, we should be able to get that through any moment now. I mean, we weren't able to see it as it happened, but Fire Flans was very low, and as you mentioned, the Paranoia available. As soon as it's dropped, the AD shield came through, and as soon as it went down, there was nothing stopping.
That's it.
A really textbook gank from the side of Dorado Gaming Delta. To be able to pick up that extra kill for themselves, picking up the feats of warfare in the process as well. So going to be one step closer to be getting those fancy boots. And speaking of things that would be feeling good for Dorado Gaming Delta, they have the experimental hex plates in the inventory of Phoenix Flare. It's one of those.
Oh, that's big.
One of those items that feels really good on Nocturne. As soon as you pop the Paranoia, getting that extra attack speed, that big sudden burst of attack speed is. It feels good.
Nice damage there onto Dr. Pepper there. Not going to be able to fully find its mark, though. Che very low right now, but it may be bait. Phoenix Flare in the area. I think their Spidey sense is just tingling there, because I don't think he got caught onto a ward there.
And there was no vision, but I think Dr. Pepper had to back off anyway to, give himself time he needs to be able to recall. They're sticking around, though. Sticking around with Dr. Pepper on low HP.
Oh, got hit by the Chains of Corruption. Nice Q as well, too. The Ranger's Volley going to go crazy, but I don't think it's enough to flash into the bush, waiting for the volley to go through with the crystal. Ooh! That was fancy, waiting for those cooldowns to go down. Phoenix Flare on the hunt right now. He smells how low Fluke is. I think he gets away. Paranoia, lock in, goes for the dive, walks away. In front of Cool Kitten 2 is crazy work. I don't know if he gets away from this. Cool Kitten putting in the damage right now. Phoenix Flare looking good, but goes off the ult. Looks for the Q, misses it, but gets the second one. It's okay. Dr. Pepper there to help the homie out. As we get the Hex Tech lockdown, the shields on shields, doesn't matter. Negate this, dog, as they put Olaf down. That was that is almost a 3-man play across the board. That was a 3-man play across the board.
Yeah, that is the one of the things that you cannot escape from with the Ragnarok, as Olaf Hextech Ultimatum comes down, helps secure that kill. But I mean, earlier, X-Fluke managing to turn that fight around, picking up the kill on Che. Even though he goes down in the end, it baits in Phoenix Flare to try to go a bit too far and eventually gets traded back, and in the end, it's still definitely really worth on the side of Akuma Strikers. Now up 2k gold here at 13 minutes, and with the Drake up and available, they're going to move straight over to it. Start it up, and
Kraken,
especially with Cool Kitten poking out Nezumi, just completely taking out Nezumi, going to be able to heal up any sort of damage that this Victor does. I think it feels good for Akuma Strikers to move straight onto the Drake relatively soon.
I think that's going to be the right call there, but you still got to respect Phoenix Flare. Phoenix Flare has a few items underneath their belt. They are still a threat. Paranoia can still easily lock down Fluke or Dr. Pepper. So I don't know if it's going to be the full commit, as we do see Dorado on to the Drake right now. And honestly, I think that is the right call. The Enchanted Ice, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go down. I think the target was Nezumi, gonna whiff just a bit, as that's going to be the second Drake under Dorado Gaming belt.
Yep, they're going to be stacking up those objectives. So at the very least, though, we could utilize the pressure from the potential soul points to be able to make some plays in their favor. But still, as you mentioned, down 2k gold, not necessarily ideal, especially when you have the likes of Cool Kitten on a completed Bork. Now it's it's a pretty big spike for the Yone. Not the biggest one, but certainly one that helps out quite a bit. We've already seen how much the Vamp Scepter alone has helped out in the
right out
wave.
of my mouth.
Yeah, in this mid lane. Luckily, I don't think it'll necessarily be the Yone will be unanswerable, especially when you have the likes of Z333 in the game. So it's not going to be like impossible to handle this Yone, I don't think, until like super late. But Cool Kitten's definitely in a really good spot.
Yeah, that's something you want to deal with sooner rather than later, honestly. But that's a hard one to put a lot of your resources in. A very tough character to lock down, just in general. And Cool Kitten themselves, just being such an avid player they are too, it's a lot easier said than done than just, hey, focus the mid laner, take out Young.
Rift Herald is up and available. Akuma Strikers winning a lot towards this side of the map. Phoenix Flare in the bottom half means that they could move on it at any moment, basically uncontested, opting to try to get as many resources as they can available into the hands of Che, completely isolating out X-Fluke for the time being. But the option won't be to move on to the Rift Herald. Instead, it's to move now to the bottom lane. Everyone heading towards the bottom half of the map. I believe that there's a really big way that they can capitalize on this, and they will actually manage to save the tower.
Yeah, somehow, someway, they are able to save the tower. Phoenix Flare in the back curtain, unwarded. I think the dive is looking right now. Chain of Corruption is available as well, too. And that's a lot of damage available on the blue side there for Dorado Gaming. So let's see what the full plan is, but maybe they kind of don't commit for it there.
I don't know if they necessarily need to. I think it'd be a pretty big force if they.
But the way they were moving, you know, the way they were moving. He's still there. He's still there.
Phoenix Flare, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Chains is gonna whiff. The paranoia is going to go, but Fluke has to step back here. Cherry looking for the Dark Binding, not gonna be able to land it, but is gonna get the 3-man ult right now. The TP's coming in as well too. Add in the Camille, the last Whisper as well too, is going to find the pick onto the bot lane of Dorado. That's gonna be a clean 2-0. The execution just a little off for the side of Dorado Gaming, and I see the 4-man dive coming. They're gonna have to give up this tower.
Yeah, it's a really great synchronization sort of play. Good team play from the side of Akuma Strikers to arrive in a coordinated manner that they did to be able to set up a few kills. Cool Kitten sealing the fate of Che as well. Going to pick up some extra gold and continue to expand their lead now up 3.5k. Wait, math? Yes. Yeah, 3.5k. To the side of Akuma Strikers. And, getting themselves that extra bit of gold and completely choking out this bottom lane. Maybe not completely choking out, is a bit of a hyperbole, but still keeping Che on a limited amount of gold, especially with the Rift Herald up and available now. We're going to be moving right over to it. Got everybody on their first item.
You're starting to really start to see the items starting to kind of take hold here for the side of Akuma Gaming. As Nezumi is going to be able to get that bot lane there. is here, and he can, run it down. Ragnarok is coming. Paranoia add in as well. Very scary situation to be. That's going to be an easy pick for Phoenix Flare and for Z, as they now are setting their sights towards this mid lane, I think.
Really good pick, but good
Crystal
chance of
Ice Arrow
corruption.
hit. Whoa, but that chain of corruption gonna catch Fluke. Another pick yet again. Exactly what Dorado needs, as they now definitely are now setting their sights for this third Drake.
Yep, picking off Cherry and X Fluke is about as perfect as you would want for the side of Dorado Gaming. Delta, despite the earlier blunder, in the end works out for them. They pick up the third Drake of the game, put themselves on soul points. So despite how a few of those fights had gone earlier, they find the pick, they get the numbers off the map, they put themselves in at least a decent spot. I mean, it's about as much as you can ask for, considering the goal deficit that they are in.
Oh, yeah.
Is really just about, it's really perfect, or the most that you could, I don't know, like, get in the situation that they are in. But now let's hit the 20-minute mark. Otacon is on the map. It is on the opposite side of the map, on the Rift Herald, which is still up and available. Neither team really showing all too much of a hard commitment onto Rift Herald just yet, and it's understandably so.
Otacon or Rift Herald. It looks more like
And
this mid lane is going to be it. Big damage coming down. That's going to be a killing spray on to Phoenix Flare. Those Paranoia picks are definitely very, very clutch.
Yeah, that is textbook Nocturne gaming for you. You find one member of the enemy team stepping up a little bit too far from the rest, and especially when there's someone squishy like Dr. Pepper on the way, commit that, you get the kill, and you use that to move straight onto the Rift Herald. But it doesn't look like Akuma Strikers are giving this one up.
No, they don't necessarily have to. They are a member down, but they still do have some of the damages. Smite is available right now. Fireflan's going to now step back, and unfortunately they really couldn't find their in on that moment there, as we do see Z33 pushing forward here, trying to knock down Fireflans here. The Ice Arrow gonna hit onto Core and add in the Dark Binding as well too, but it's not gonna be enough to find a pick, as the TP does come down. The Chain of Corruption is gonna whiff there from Shay, as we do see this siege forward onto the mid tower. No minions available just yet, so they should be able to hold themselves down. Looking for that regroup, reconvene, looking for the pick onto Nezumi, but not enough to get the full zero the death that they're looking for. The wave is going to get decimated, as now you see the siege towards mid. Paranoia yet again on to Felix this time, or excuse me, on the Fluke this time. He is going to get away with 10, and now the Hextech ultimatum going to be able to find a shutdown. Fireflan's on the run, but is going to get picked. It is a 1-for-1, but I think that falls more towards the Strikers.
Yeah, being able to keep X Fluke alive feels really good, but J-Core in trouble.
Oh, big damage there, and that's going to be a nice pick from Cool Kitten. Looking for the Fate Sealed, but going to take a lot of damage. Hextech Storm coming from Nezumi as well, too. Dr. Pepper Cherry on the run. Z33 taking a lot of damage, pushing forward, but now Cool Kitten out of the soul, looking for it, gets a little bit back towards the soul, dashes back in, gets Shay somehow still alive, and somehow it is a free 3-for-0. The mobility, the movement,
Cool
the man of the hour right now, cooking up in that kitchen with the Yon pick.
Yeah, wow. Cool Kitten was on like 10 HP forever, and manages to survive, is able to heal up with the Blade of the Ruined King, as well as dropping a few of those steel blades onto timely targets, and staying alive so low. That one definitely hurts. Being said, the target is now Fireflans.
Fireflans just keeping J-Core and Felix as far as they can from this Atacon. The Paranoia is going to strike, but there is no vision till it's too late, and he's gonna dash in to die. Unfortunate, as well as Phoenix has been doing these Paranoias, for that one to fall after the Otacon as well, too.
Yeah, and X Fluke stays alive once again. Just kind of the continuing story of Harry X Fluke Houdini in these sorts of situations. To be fair, I mean, Cool Kitten's also had that moment himself. I can't put it only on X Fluke. But not even being able to get the kill or the Otacon, it doesn't feel, it feels pretty bad. And now with Strikers getting the Otacon on top of their 6K gold lead, I don't want to say it doesn't matter that Dorado Gaming are on Soul Point, but it means a lot less than it did a few moments ago.
It's going to be a lot harder to secure this Dragon Soul Point as well, too. Because we were a little concerned on the 2K gold deficit. Now we're on a 6K gold deficit with that 15-second mark coming. You know what time it is over onto the top side as we do see the Baron being spawned. Drake will be secured by Strikers as they full commit into this mid lane siege for tier 2 with the Rift Herald. I think it's now going to be a bailout, almost getting 2 towers for the Drake there, which I honestly can say that's not too bad considering the situation that Dorado Gaming is in right now. Now setting their sights onto this poor Scuttle by himself in his lonesome in the river. I think there's going to be the reset, regroup, reconvene play as we do see Akuma Strikers getting into the jungle here, knowing that they saw people recall Hextech Ultimatum to lock them down right now. Phoenix Flare on the run. Paranoia is coming down, but it looks like their fates are sealed as we see them fall 3, 2, 1 yet again. Cool Kitten, godlike. Now Strikers looking over to the Baron right now, just continuing this onslaught and just these skirmishes falling into their favor.
Yeah, and it's really opportunistic play from Akuma Strikers, recognizing that some of the recalls had come through, that they had a disjointed Dorado Gaming Delta squad that they could collapse on, that they didn't need to risk really losing anybody. They lost Fireflans in the process, but you'll take that as the 1-4-3 with the Baron on top of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just again, opportunistic play from Akuma Strikers, just continuing to push their advantage, now up 8.5K almost, and I mean, they very quickly went from relatively even into completely out of hand here in Game 3 to the side of the Strikers. Now Nezumi hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
He tried to dodge it, and I thought they got it, but Fluke the Magician just curving the arrow just enough to hit after the flash. That's going to be a nice pick there. I don't think they're going to get much after that pick, unless Dr. Pepper has something to say. Phoenix Flare just trying to get the red buff. Cool Kitten is on the flank there, is going to force the flash out of Shay there, as Dr. Pepper pushing forward, gets the ult. J-Core taking a lot of damage, putting up the heals just in case before that burst sets. Now they set their sights onto this tier 2 tower. It is crumbling as now they are walking down into the base. The final moments of Game 3 is looking upon us right now. And with that, this may be Akuma's game to take home the finals.
Yeah, 10K up, 28 minutes. It's definitely looking very likely that this will be 2 straight 3-0s for Akuma Strikers. Yeah, it's a team that throughout this year there were a lot of question marks raised about, because even though we knew they had a really good roster, it looked questionable at times.
Speaking of questionable, big Paranoia going through. Phoenix Flare gonna be able to find Flans. The Hextech Ultimatum is gonna be used to try to stall for a little bit of time. It will be a pick, but it won't amount to much more than just a pick. It will slow down this siege coming from the side of Akuma Strikers right now. Fate sealed though, going to catch 2. Blink and you miss it. The damage is way too real. Pushing up, Z333 is gonna ult to keep himself alive, but he is on the run right now. The bases is getting the base's door are being knocked upon right now as we speak, as they look towards this middle inhibitor, and it is going down right now. Baron buff up only for a little longer as they are going to go for the base towers here. I'm a little surprised here, but that Dark Binding gonna put on some damage from Z333. I think they got enough. They have the cannon pushing in. Baron buff just fell out. So I think that's going to be the call to retreat back there. But they are taking each step closer and closer to trying to close this one out.
Yeah, and opening up the base that bit more.
Oh,
No,
that's not your jungle.
Yeah.
Catch 4. Gonna push over it. Nezumi gonna hit the golden hourglass, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. The bob, the weave, definitely not enough. The Hextech ultimatum, Z333, you can't walk out of it. You're stuck, man. It's all 4 members down. It's only Shay left. The Fate Seal forward, no flash away. The 4-level advantage. They are walking into the base. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's safe to say we have our Diamond League champion.
Yeah, Akuma Strikers come out in a big way. They strike well and true into the hearts of Dorado Gaming Delta in a very clean fashion. 3-0 sweep. Coming into the playoffs, even though we knew they had a really good team about them, even though we knew a lot of the players on this roster between Coffee and X-Fluke, Cool Kitten, Cherry as well, every last one of them Fireflames, might as well, since I'm listing their names, we knew they had a lot of skill on this team, but there was a lot of shakiness about it. That series against the Only Frogs definitely wasn't the cleanest, and the regular season was also very questionable. They had a few roster shakeups, moving Dr. Pepper to the support role, bringing Cool Kitten in at around week 4, as well as moving Data out. In the roster setup to be able to try to improve the team, and it at first really didn't look like there were too much improvements, and to be fair 2-1s every single week up until the very end was there was definitely a lot of question marks around this Akuma Strikers team, but I mean they've scaled right into the end of this season just about perfect. They come alive at the exact time that you would want them to, and yeah, these last 2 series, the semifinal and final, they look basically unbeatable.
Oh, yeah, man. It's funny that you said that. The only 2 instances that I got to see Akuma Strikers, you're like, they never clear out a set. It is always back and forth with them. We saw them in semifinals, they get 3-0. We now see them in finals, they get their 3-0, man. And I gotta say, overall, fantastic work. It seemed that Dorado had their number come game 2. Even into this game 3, it seemed that they understood the assignment, but it's just a couple missteps, a couple mistimed execution plays really set the deal here to let Akuma Strikers be on top. GG's well played to these guys. A overall fantastic finals, to say the least, from both teams.
And so I think we are going to be setting up an interview with one or maybe multiple of the champions on the side of Akuma Strikers.
Yeah.
It'll be in just a few short moments. So we'll be having that on the other side of a very momentary break.
Beautiful people, we are back. And I just want to say for myself, GG's, well played. We are here with the champions, Akuma Strikers. And Isaac, take it away, man, please.
Yeah, so like first, I also want to extend my congratulations to you guys, on the Akuma Strikers. And there's all the obvious first question. I mean, how does it feel to be champions, especially Coffee, since this is the third time that we've seen you here in Blue Water League Diamond?
Feels great. I'm glad I finally got to win with. So I've won with Firefly and Franco a ton before, but like me, him, and Chelsea have been friends for years, and the first time we played on a team, it didn't quite work out. But I'm glad we finally got to win, the three of us together. It's kind of been something we've been trying to do for a long time. So
it's awesome. So I guess my question was, how was the series for you? Because for Isaac and I, there was some hiccups there. You cleared out definitely with a 3-0, but how was it for you guys? Were you confident you guys were clearing this out 3-0? No worries. You guys had this in the bag from rip?
I mean, so. What about you guys?
I think after we won game one, like that was their best shot, right? They just put me down completely out of the game, and my team just like giga stomped them.
Right. Right. Yeah.
With that not working, I was like, we can win anything. And then we had the disaster classic game 2.
That was yeah.
And then I was like, all right, we won that. We can't lose anything. So it just the confidence kept
more,
going.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
and we had our coaches analyzing everything. Like they had the drafts ready to go. You know what I mean? Like that really it was just like a staff diff, I would say.
Real.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess
you never really hear about staff like that. That's a very interesting take. I like that.
I guess this is a question to the season as a whole, because we've kind of beat a dead horse a little bit here on the broadcast of the fact that you guys throughout regular season only won 2-1 in your series, and considering there was a bit of a mix up in the roster with Cool Kittens moving into the mid lane and Coffee moving down to the role of support, like. How did you guys manage to like keep things together to then like, you know, culminate in this championship season and like keep your heads down and keep your minds in the game long enough to be able to finally get to this point?
I mean, I'll be honest, we were working through some stuff, right? Like, so me playing mid was like a little experiment, right? We just wanted to play. Originally, we were just playing to have fun. Then we realized, oh, like if we lock in, we can win, right? Like it's pretty easy to win. So unfortunately, Data had to be sacrificed, and we were just lucky that that Caps was able to play, right? Like if Caps wasn't able to play, then we just kind of had to keep running our heads into the same brick wall over and over again. But personally, I'd say like the biggest change we made wasn't even like the roster change. I think like I'm gonna give props to my jungler, the way that she completely 180'd her playstyle and like decided, you know, like not necessarily like swallowed her ego, right? But like, you know, swallowed the fact that she played the game the same way for so long. She just played the way that Franco and I wanted to play, and like, I mean, it's incredible to be able to do that, in my opinion.
They're gonna remove Otacon and they're gonna remove feats of strength, but until they do that, I don't get to have fun. And so I just accept it that I don't get to have fun. Riot will fix their game. Unfortunately, they didn't fix it in time for me to play this league, so unlucky.
Understandable. So are you guys set for next season? Are you guys locked in, ready to go? Are we going to see a back-to-back, well, technically for some, back-to-back-to-back
Is Bully not going to yeet some of us?
Dude, Bully still owes me $15, so until that gets cleared up, we're not having any next conversations. I wrote a fucking content article. That shit took me like 4 hours. I had to write about a bunch of fucking players I've never heard of. And I did it for the community, you know, because I was complaining that it was a dead season. Chelsea did none of it. She's not getting the money.
What?
Hey, what about me, man?
Ryan and I.
It's okay, Cherry. You can have the $10 that I put in
No, that's coming to me too.
In the chat.
Listen, that's also coming to me. Listen, until he pays me out, we're not having any discussions about next split. No, but
got it.
in all honesty,
Heard.
halfway through the season, I was resigned to like I'm quitting after this split. Like this was the most frustrating split ever for me.
Oh,
It just
okay.
we were winning off of just sheer like will, and it was like not fun for anybody, and everyone was miserable. But just the complete 180 that we did after the role swap and Chelsea like willing to play the way that we want to play, it's like honestly I have no idea. I was like 100% locked that I was done after this, but I
And
mean
then
this
the
was
flip, and that's how
yeah.
that's league. That's league in a nutshell.
Yeah. Who knows, man?
Yeah, you think you're done, and then as soon as you
Right.
think you're done, you get a high moment. You're like,
That's
maybe I'll play another. And if
my
that
shit
ain't
got
League of
buffed,
Legends,
like-
I don't know what is. But I guess before we send things out for the season, for the year even, I mean, since you're all in here, I guess this is either your shout out moments or even a dap each other moment in the final. So yeah, what do you got for us before we close?
Let's
things
start with the
out?
coaches because I want
Strikers.
them to be able to get some words in.
Ready?
Scene, ready?
Yeah. Shout out Miko for carrying. I think Miko is the mental monk of the team.
That's our
Uh,
fluke.
Yeah, that's X
Mm.
Fluke. I think without him,
Heck
the
yeah.
game gets a lot harder. I think games, are a lot more lost. I think Miko's always there. He's always trying to win, and that's one of the things I respect Miko a lot for. I know I can always rely on him. Some of the other people here, not so much.
Amen.
No, good take, good take.
That's the correct take.
Not gonna say any names.
It might be everyone else in here, but
Might be the three of us.
Mr. Ritz.
Yep. Shout out to Ratchet for arguing with me for each pick. It took us like 30 seconds for each pick. I mean, I disagreed with them a lot, but we made it work. Yeah.
They're the goats.
Hey, I love it.
I gotta say, shout out to
I
Two Rack Industries.
Yes, sir.
Two Rack Industries on top. And shout out to Dorado for always making it so easy for Akuma.
All right, just messaging Zol real fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
He I mean, you don't need to message him. He knows.
Dorado Zol.
He knows.
That's crazy. Hey, but hey, the 3-0 shows for itself. Again, guys, GG's, well played. Congrats being champions. To some of you back to back champions as well too.
Yo, let me get my shout outs off real quick.
Me as well after Franco.
Yeah. Don't close it out just yet.
Quick shout outs to everybody who subbed in for this disaster of a team. And especially Tenno, who was the #1 supporter of us throughout the season and always hyping us up in the team chat. Even when I wanted to strangle my friends and fucking quit League of Legends forever, he was helping us
He
out.
did wanna do that
Data
many times.
ate the bullet so that everyone else could live. Love you, Data, forever. Matt G, subbed in. I'm a big Matt G supporter here. I know we had to sacrifice Sabres for them to win. Mouse Dixie, actual godsend when Chelsea's PC bricked itself in game 1. Hopped in and saved us. It was a pleasure playing with y'all. So shout out to the subs. And shout out to Akuma. Shout out to Dorado Gaming and especially Void for being my biggest fan. And those are my shout outs.
I'd like to shout out my girlfriend and everyone else on Exosphere Ryan for supporting us after they got eliminated. It really means a lot to me. And thank you to everyone else who watched. My last and most important shout out is shout out to every jungler that lost to Chelsea Jarvan. I didn't think it was possible, but you guys inspire me every day that nothing is impossible when you suck. Thank you.
Yo, tell them.
Yeah!
Tell them.
Hey, last but not least, though,
I
shout out
love
to
it.
Huey. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to, I
Oh.
think it's Cherry J, right? The other caster. And then shout out to Raven. You guys are the goats.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Thank you.
Especially you,
we
Isaac.
wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys.
I don't lose when Isaac's around.
That's it for me, Mr. Isaac. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's it from everyone here at Blue Otter League for the fall 2026 season here. Congratulations to Akuma Strikers once again for your championship
Let's
here in the
go.
season 14 of Blue Otter League. And thank you everybody and all the organizations that played throughout the split. Obviously wouldn't be able to have this without you. And thank you to everyone at Blue Otter League for for us to even have this in the first place. And with that, that'll be it for this year. We'll see you in the new year. Have a good night.
Love y'all. Be safe. Happy holidays.
Oh, Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever.